Politicians want to make their decision just put a spoon. You want to know what happened in the ministry to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fondema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat get my bread, let my brother to spoon. You got a small TV, you got a small radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kili Baba, Kili Baba, Kili Baba, Kili Baba, Kili Baba, Kili Baba. What I want? Yes, I do back today. Yes, I do back today. Listen.
Well, folks, good evening and a pleasant welcome. This is Spoon Talk, and we are live on Spoon FM, Fabric FM, Super FM, Spoon Talk live on YouTube, Spoon TV Live, and Fabric TV Live. Tonight, the team is going to be here to talk more about issues that matter, with emphasis on what happened today in Buchanan. So let me bring Dr. Richardson on while we await the rest of the guys to be here. Um, Good evening, Doctor.
Good day. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. Everything is good. Thank God I'm still alive.
That's good. That's really good. It's good to be here today, too. Well, I want to welcome all of our viewers, our listeners, our audience to the show. We really appreciate you being here today. It's another day. We're going to be talking about training issues. The panelists will be joining me shortly. But as you know, the CPP selected the running mate today, Mr. Cummins. Alexander Cummins selected his running mate today in Bassa. It was an exciting event. We'll be talking more about that. I'm going to take this time. Good day. Did you have anything else you want to add? And then, of course, we're going to welcome individually the people that join us in the commentator section.
Basically, what happened today is the CPP event. Besides that, we did not see anything major happening in Liberia today. An event that we expected it to be all Bassa event turned out to be different. Yeah, so I don't know. So we were starting to show pictures.
Well, I actually had a different experience. I got to watch the event all day today. It was a Bassa event. Bassa people came from all over. I saw many people wearing T-shirts that said Bassa land. And as you know, the Bassa people are all over Liberia. They're one of the few people, like the Pella people. They are all over Liberia. They're like from River Sas, they're from River G, they're from Monserrato, they're from Nimba. So the Bassa people are all over Liberia. So I saw, I just saw integration, a united Liberia. That's what I saw today. I was really happy. I was happy to see the entertainers. I was happy to see to hear Charlene's and Mr. Cummings' speech, and it was just a wonderful program. It was unbelievable how they sort of carry out the program. Basel was locked down today. That's what I saw. It's really exciting. I could probably
Yeah,
go
but
today.
again, I know you definitely will say that, but the issue here is this event was planned for about 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago since they planned this event, and Cummins he was expected then to name his running mate in Ganta, but they planned we have to name the person in their home county, meaning the people of that county, the inhabitant. We're not talking about like James Kudeflomo is from Lofa and he's based in Monrovia, and then time for that event, Jim Flomote or a family member, they go to Lofa. James is not an inhabit. He's not living there, though he hails from Lofa, but he's not living in Lofa. James does not know what's the trending things in Lofa, what the people need, the current need of the people of Lofa. James has no knowledge on it. James cannot take all of his family members and friends and say, I'm from the Lofa land, and then go to Lofa County to increase population with an impression that yes, Lofa is for Aaron Kuben. And at the end of the day, when the event is over, James, his family, his friends, everyone will then get on car to go back to Monrovia, and the people of Lofa remain there to live in our illusion that they are there for Aaron Kuben when other people went there to give that impression. So that is what I saw. I saw a beautiful event with so many dissensions. I saw a very colorful event with many dissensions in it, where people turn to be from people turn out that they are living in a county, but on the other hand, they are not. And it is not just limited to Cummins, right? The rescue team is expected to go to Nimba in the coming weeks or months to present Jeremiah Kuhn, Senator Kuhn. We're also going to see similar things happening there. These things happen. Folks will leave from other places to go to a specific county to give impression that is not a reality at the end of the day. That is what I saw. And I think that will sometimes blind our politicians, our political leaders. It will blind them because they will not be able to justify to say this person is from here. They will have that impression that I have a strong support base here, but it is not the case. It is not limited to one party.
So James, that is your perception.
That is what we saw today. That perception is fact.
Yeah, that is your perception.
Perception
is what you see and perceive.
It is a fact. We saw them.
I'm not going to argue with you on the show today, okay? That is your perception. What you saw is your perception. I don't care. The boy that's selling in the street right now, he doesn't care about all the things that you're talking about crowd, all of the people who from Basa or not from Basa. The woman who is held hostage right now in JFK, who cannot pay her medical bills until she's been released. She doesn't care about whether there were a crowd or no crowd. So what we need to be talking about right now is the issue that was presented today at the program. How are the issues discussed? That's what I would really want to be talking about today, okay? I'm not here to talk about who live in Basa until you guys bring me evidence, like paperwork to tell me that y'all went there and y'all check who live in Basa, who doesn't live in Basa. But what I know is the people from Basa land was there today. They represented, and I'm saying that people from Basa come from all over Liberia. They're one of the few tribes. They remind me like the Pele people, and I know that because my mother is Pele. They kind of have they settle in different parts of Liberia compared to some other tribe that are just very regional. They're very stuck in the region. So today I'm not going into what perception, what you saw. When you saw something different, I saw something different. And it's okay for us to see two different things, okay?
Yeah, well, you give up. So I should go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Again, this is for the Mount Kubo are listening to the radio who is now watching, but who may have heard that Bassa turned in favor of Cummins. I just want to tell Yapazuo who is listening to us there in Zaza or in Vonjama or in Buze Potter. I just want to let them know what really happened and how the crowd turned out. We saw over 20 buses today in Grand Bassa County, and we just want to let you know that what we expected to be a Bassa affair turned out to be a Liberia affair. Meaning across the entire country, we saw Liberians from all walks of life who were there. We saw all the people there who were there today. So again, just to let you know that the event we expected to be for the people, and we managed to lay hands on the drum image. You know, when you are doing a video from the camera direct or from the phone, that image is different from the drum because the drum is like a snap picture you're gonna get, right? Like a flying camera, it's gonna be everywhere. So it will capture everywhere. So we got that, and probably not exact, but we saw a population less than 6,000.
Mr. Jackson, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you serve as panelist today. I'm sure you were, glued to your device watching what happened in Bassa today. So it's good to see you. We are waiting for the other panelists to come on. But if you want to just join me, we'll welcome some of our viewers. And then we're going to go into discussing what happened in Bassa today. It was such an exciting amazing event for the way that it was organized. I saw the entertainers, so that you want to, I'm going to start. I probably will see about, mention about and say hi to about 10 people. I don't know if you can see your device, and then you can follow up and say hi to those people too. Can you see the names, or you just want me to go ahead and?
No, I can't see any name, but I can greet people who are following the show. I want to say good afternoon, absolutely, to all Liberians, foreign residents, and partners of Liberia who are following the show. I'm very humbled to be here and to speak to the huge outpouring of support oozing across the country towards the Cummins Brumskine ticket. I think it's a ticket that means well that what people are standing out in great readiness to support that ticket.
Thank you. I'm going to then individually just welcome our guests to the show as the panelists probably will roll in, and then we'll probably discuss, some of the pressing issues for Liberians, some of the issues that this ticket will be attacking, some of the ways that they discussed making Liberia a better place for all Liberians. So I thought I was listening to the message and it just was resonating with me.
Yeah.
So we're going to welcome Clarence Benson. Clarence is actually in Canada, so thank you for being here. Gabriel Waplu is here. Gabriel, thank you, and thank you for those positive comments. Morris Zegler, also thank you for being here. Yatu Jensen, thank you. Johansson, thank you for coming. Pearl Campbell, thank you for watching. This thing is going so fast on me here. Neba Massacre, thank you for being here. This is just there's a lot of people anticipating this show today. Mahawa Sun, thank you for coming. Somebody saying the radio is not on in Liberia. Let me just see. Louis Yankwe Swa from North Carolina. Samuel Roberts from England is here. Eric Kumi, I think Kumi is here. Hueli Wesley is also here. Dennis Brooks is here. Henry F. Tamba is here. Hold on, guys. Barbara Wilson, thank you for being here. Regis Eric Bala is also here. I think I'm gonna stop here, and then we're just gonna briefly just go through a conversation of, I guess that James started. Mr. Jackson, I will start with you, and then we're gonna move on. I'm gonna also, and then of course when the panelists come, there some people will tell us what they heard. Um, we'll just start overall. Your overall.
Yeah. I mean, the what I heard, say James, right? What I heard James to have said, I think it's an argument being peddled by lazy-minded individuals. Everywhere in Liberia, even in Mosurado County, when political rallies are held, there is a tendency for people to help facilitate the movement of people from the 17 political electoral district in Mosurado County. So for somebody to say, oh, buses went, to Buchanan and they took people from Mozzarella and took people from the place, it's a lazy argument. It's a lazy argument that leads nowhere. What I say James or whoever person will come up with this same lazy argument, what they are glossing over is the stubborn fact that Liberians are standing up in solidarity with the ticket. They are standing up in solidarity with this ticket. They are willing to cast their votes for this ticket. So whether or not they were mobilized from Mozzarella, from Riverside, from wherever, they have. If you can leave your basic schedule, wherever part of Liberia you are, to show up at that rally, what are you doing? You are casting a vote of confidence for that ticket. And so it is a lazy argument. And that argument will gain zero currency because, brother, even in Mozzarella County, it's when people, CDC, noted for pulling crowd. In Mozzarella County, it's when they're doing the rally, they put people in buses. In fact, they facilitate their movement. They divide money. Mm-hmm. I'm not the first person talking about this, but you see a huge groundswell of support oozing now towards Mr. Cummings. People are showing up in large number in the Southern Post City of Buchanan. And they're telling the rest of the country that this is what we intend to do. We will stand with Mr. Cummings wherever he goes. Now you come here and want to ring on a parade and say, oh, no, they bus people. Well, yeah, Roberta, that's part of the disco. That is part of the disco. The people who were buzzed are sure they were not constricted. They were willing participants who went there to show support. They went there in solidarity of the ticket. So what argument is this?
Yes, Mr. Jackson, I want to actually welcome. Thank you so much for your summary of what you experienced today. Thank you for providing and adding your thoughts.
And maybe I need to come back to talk about the short statement delivered by Mistress Brumskine, the widow of Councillor Brumskine. I think that statement was really moving.
Actually, we will get to that part. We just kind of talking about our feelings and experience of what we saw today. I'm going to welcome Hussein Fadiga.
Let me get a bottle of water.
Go ahead. Fadiga.
You definitely need it. You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, Fadiga.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm glad to be back. I listened to my good friend and brother from Wezo, who go way back in Grand Bassa County, from Grand Bassa County. I'm wondering whether we watched the same thing today. I don't know what he watched, but I was kind of surprised when I listened to him. I thought he was talking about something completely different. Apparently, he was talking about Grand Bassa, which kind of shocked me. But that is how Isaac Jackson speaks. He got that exuberance, and it is what it is. But once we snap back to reality, I saw something completely different today. I saw something. Let me go with the positive side. I like the fact that Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, the chairman or the political leader of the CPP, if you want to call that party, has found a running mate. So now that whole question of political marriage has been resolved. That whole thing. Ambassador Boyka now has his running mate. Most of the guys have their running mate. I mean, the clear front runners now have their running mate. So it is clear that it's game on. We are getting ready for that campaign season and getting ready to take on this government. That is the positive side of this. How we got here, you can speculate, but the fact is we are here. You know, there were a couple around it when Nima didn't work, they went all around the country, they started for Charlie. We accept that. My first observation, I said something on my post. I like the attire. It was well thought out, the red hair tie. You know, but some people would like our mothers, they love the wear attire. You know, trying to be relatable. That was well thought out. You know, when I watched that, I'm like, oh yeah, she tried. So there's this whole look. There is a good reason why our constitution forbade two people from the same county from running for president. And there is the same reason why a lot of people are scratching their head when they see an Alexander Cummings and a Charlene Brumskine. That don't look at my face. No, are you giving me that kind of alpha? You're scaring me knowing the other side. Well, there is a good reason that people feel uncomfortable. And there is a history in that country. We should not pretend like it didn't happen. Some people say, oh, you are divisive. You did that. No, it's nothing about being divisive. There are certain things some people just do not know how to articulate, and they feel that people will bully them and people will say things about them. But there are a lot of people that still feel uncomfortable. So it just shows the ignorant, the cultural ignorance of Mr. Cummings and his team. Because one, people want to be voting for you. It's not stone, it's not feelings. Those are people that are guided by certain belief, whether those are traditional belief or something that coming. So
okay,
for, I said all that things just it. You give me 30 seconds, but I will do it in 30 seconds. What I observed today, I saw a big disconnect between the crowd. When Sonny God that I know get on the stage to sing, everybody on their feet. I saw one group of people which appear to me like on-local that just came for the excitement. I saw them pass on Tottenham Street in Bikino. Tottenham Street is generally crowded almost all the time for no apparent reason because the people there. So I didn't even see any crowd there. There were a bunch of on-locals.
I'm going to welcome
welcome
Save some of your comments for later.
I will say so. Thank you.
Shek Sako, I'm going to welcome you to the show, and also Daniel Sando, I'm also going to welcome you to the show. We were just talking about the observation of the program, and I want Liberian people to understand, those of you who are listening, you are listening to the perception of people who consider themselves to be in the other camp. They follow Joseph and Buckeye. So you can also see that some of the comments might not be objective. There, so they will see something completely different. So if you listen to us, I just wanted to sort of share that with you. Shek Sako, you got any thoughts about your experience today?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Riching. It's a pleasure being on the Spoon Network again today. I mean, just diving into the issue of politics a little bit, I want to say, I mean, the program for the ANC today or the CPP was very impressive. And I would want to speak to the fact that I hate the issue when the people in the opposition are trying to amalgamate forces in forming a formidable ticket against the Weir administration, and people see it as being divisive or there's division within the opposition bloc. I disagree with that. I think these efforts are just being made so as to, have a competitive, election so as to push the agenda to the Liberian people. But there's one thing I know that at the end of the day, what we call in sociology the convention theory would be applied, wherein all of these forces would join together in directing their votes to an arrowhead that's going to survive the first round of the elections. But I think today's program in Buchanan was very impressive, and you must give that to the CPP, whether they came from Monrovia or whether they came from Buchanan. The fact of the matter is people muster the courage to go to Buchanan in the supporting the agenda of Mr. Cummings and his bad one in the first fixer one, fixer two. We should appreciate them for that. And I think they did a great job today, and they built the competition in the coming elections.
That's it.
Thank you, Shek Sako. Daniel Sando, welcome again to the program. Your thoughts?
Could you how are you? I'm good. A pleasant good evening to everybody.
Oh,
Now,
well, yeah.
I didn't get your question because I was
No, I was
struggling with the
saying,
internet.
I'm not sure if you watched the program today. We're just, first of all, looking at our general sense of what happened in Basel today. Any thoughts of yours?
Well, I think what happened in Basel today is not strange to our body politics. There are 6 counties that are vote rich, and you expect that presidential candidates will go fetching support in the counties. Except that what we witnessed today was the importation of supporters of Mr. Alexander Cummings from neighboring counties. People were chucked from Monserrado, Margibi into Bassa to create the show that was held there today. And so it's all part of the presidential campaign. It's all part of the politics. But I would have thought that Bassa being a vote-rich county, Mr. Cummings and his people would have done, sufficient mobilization on the ground because they had 2 weeks, and, to galvanize the grassroots support of the people. But to have seen, buses in their numbers trooping from Monserrado, Margibi into Bassa to create an impression, well, maybe that's their own strategy to win election. But I understand the Bassa politics. I know how it works there. If you want to win vote, we campaigned for Brumskine 2 times, 2011 and 2017. We know how difficult it is to survive. So it's not a place where you're going to go to put up political show to deceive yourself, But it's good. Everybody has his own political rights. We congratulate Councillor Brumskine on her nomination by Mr. Cummings. At this point, we're going to tune down the rhetorics because we need the support of the ticket, the Cummings-Brumskine ticket in the second round of the election. So we wish them well. And we look forward to the Liberian people voting their choice on October 10th. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to you, Mr. Jackson, just for you to give a brief summary because the other panelists. Good day. Did you have something to add? I didn't hear you muted.
Yeah, you are muted.
Sorry. Yes, I just want to respond to Jackson before leaving. He confirmed on the show that there was trucking, and he tried to
He confirm. Who confirm? You confirm?
I said you confirm.
How?
You said what happened in Bassa. People do it in Monserrado when they're having programs.
Good. Apparently, you didn't grab the argument that I tried to make. I tried to play down the sentiment expressed by you, which I believe expressed by other people, and I described that group of people as being lazy-minded. Because what really I consider is that the people who show up in Bassa were standing up in solidarity. It matters little where they came from.
Jackson,
they are from Liberia.
Mr. Jackson.
They're not Guineans.
Mr. Jackson, please hold on 1 second. Let's give James the opportunity because
you're not looking for my validation to say I confirm it. And I ain't Basel to know where to carry buses from somewhere. That's not what I say.
Mr. Jackson.
You're in Liberia, brother. I'm not in Liberia.
Mr. Jackson.
Can I go ahead?
Mr. Jackson, please hold on, okay?
Thank you. But I didn't confirm. I was making an intellectual argument. What the intellectual listen, they call it verbal dexterity. That's what I was exuding. It's verbal dexterity. I'm not confirming anything.
Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson.
Hey, but you're just Jackson confirm, and I confirm it.
When James finished, Mr. Jackson, then
okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, those who were here as per his confirmation, where he alluded to it that in Liberia, it is the political norm of Liberians that when they are having an event in a specific place, politicians will invite people or they will truck supporters from everywhere to attend that event. And he made reference to the CDC. The people will say CDC will put out crowd. This is what happened most often in Monrovia or Monserrado when they are having event in District 9. You have people from the 17 districts coming to form part of that event. So I want to agree with him on that. And also the Cummings ticket or the Cummings camp is the change. It's just like the CDC saying, Ellen did not do this when they campaign on on a platform of change. You cannot keep doing the same thing. And Mr. Kumi is always telling us that we should not keep doing the same thing and getting the same result. If we keep doing it, getting the same result, we should change the dynamic of the process we're passing through. So if politicians in Liberia keep trucking supporters to a specific location to have an event, and the quote-unquote clean hand camp is also evolving into it, I'm just scared if they are given power tomorrow, we may likely resort to the very same thing that we've been talking about. That Ellie was corrupt, the Unity Party administration was corrupt, they did not develop, they did not do this. So when these people are voted tomorrow, they're going to tell us, well, Ellie did the same thing, George Weah did the same thing. What about me? We are not the first people. Other leaders came, they did it. So we should change the dynamic and allow people from a specific location to do. Even if we have one people, those are logical people, those are the real people. Let them give us the feeling of how they want to be treated in a specific place, then trucking them in more than 20 buses that we saw today. That's what I wanted to say. And it was confirmed. People saw it. You wanted, I can go and print out recalling back.
Mr. Jackson, please go ahead and
you know, my dear sister, what this young man had just demonstrated, it is the problem that is confronting Liberia. We treat people who are lazy-minded as though they were serious people. That somebody, the two people in question, they are not representative candidates. You understand, young man? Every Liberian person, whether you in Bojise town, whether you in what do you call the place, Sano, where where at the back of Sano, right? Wherever you are, you will vote for Cummings or you will vote for a vice presidential pick. So that's a difference. You see, you don't understand the line of distinction, the trouble with trucking. Trucking has to do with people carrying people in particular constituency. These people are running to be president and vice president. They call it, what do you call her name? So you see, when you draw the parallelism, then you are grossly wrong. Then you're not a serious political commentator. Because a serious political commentator will not draw a parallelism to a vice presidential and presidential candidate as though they were running a representative seat or senatorial seat. So it's wrong. Now, the other thing I like to bring to the conversation is, look, Liberian people asked, when Mr. Cummings said he represents change, he demonstrated that change by bringing forward a very intelligent, so to speak, young lady from the softening position of Buchanan, continuing the legacy of a man who believed he wanted to build Liberia under the supremacy of the rule of law. Hello?
Yeah, 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Yeah. But you know, when you call me, it can be 30 seconds because we gotta be able to, you know, expand our people. But yes, okay, I respect your 30 seconds. But I respect your 30 seconds. I respect your 30 seconds. I will respect your 30 seconds. Let me just conclude by saying this and let me you. But you see, what I wanted to say, when Cummings say he represents change, it is genuine change that he represents because the person he picked is not somebody who has been sucking the contaminated breast milk of the CDC government like Kun. Kun has been a senator, has been serving a Ways and Means Committee, and he's been in league with the CDC government, and he has said nothing against the CDC government in protest. He doesn't represent the opposition community. Charlene represent the opposition community. She is a genuine opposition person. She walks in the legacy, in the footsteps of her father. Okay, so she want to build Liberia under the rule of law, a young vibrant woman. So yeah, this is a she represents change. She represents change. She represents that 30% the Liberian law call for.
Yes, actually, that is actually a topic we're going to discuss, the merit and the merit of having Charlene on the team. But I'm going to give my views. I think I already shared that already. But I want the people in Radio Land to understand that, you know, the program was exciting to me. There were lots of people there, the people from Bassa Land. And like I said, there were people from Riverside, there were people from Monrovia, there were people from Nima, there were people from Roji. They were all over, and they came to stand in solidarity with Charlene Brumskine, who is Bassa. Okay, so I was really impressed with that, to see people standing with her, Liberians. Okay, Liberians, and at this point we're going to look at a united Liberia. not, you know, the Bassa is just a location to me that they made they made the choice to have this event. It was very inclusive. That's what I want to say. It was inclusive. I saw, you know, the speech was full of inclusivity. They were talking about a united country, what they're going to do for all Liberians. They were not talking about, you know, this group and that group and how this group have failed. There was mostly a unified Liberia in the spirit of Charles Brumskine, because he talked about the diminishing tribalism in our culture, in our country. He spoke about that. It was very entertaining. I really like how they had different entertainers, you know, and I thought that was good for the young people. I really enjoyed that. It was orderly. You know, it wasn't the kind of program where people were fighting and with the crowd. And for people who came from different parts of the country to just see an orderly event. And then, of course, their message was direct to the people. I saw Mr. Cummings engaging. I love Mrs. Cummings. Mrs. Cummings was dancing. You know, she was excited. Charlene came, and she also, you know, danced as well. And she was very respectful in terms of how she communicated to the people of Bassa. She told them, said, you know what? Usually when I'm talking to y'all know how I can talk to y'all. But because we are at a program that will be widespread, going internationally, going to different places, so I'm going to probably put on a different hat today. And I thought that was good. That was a respectful leader's behavior. So that's my take on the program. If you listen to us, if you're watching us, it wasn't so much. I'm not going to sit here and talk about crowd, and you know, I don't care about all of those things. I care about the substance of the program, and which we're going to get into right now. So we're going to get into, and I would say, I don't know if you had a chance to finish your thoughts. We're going to get into the merit, and let's talk about having Charlene Brumskine on the ticket. What does it mean for Liberia, or politics, or government in Liberia? And I will start with Fadiga. James, I was gonna. Are you here for this thing, or are you just in the background? I don't want to not see you, or Jaco, Fadiga. Are you here?
Yeah, go.
Okay, go ahead, Fadiga.
Well, anybody having Charlene Brumskine on the ticket is just, she's a fine. Besides her being she's qualified. There's no question about her qualification yet. Charlene Brumskine represent my generation, people that should be assuming power right now. So I will welcome that any day, any night, if you were to tell. But politically, what does she bring to the table, especially when it comes to Grand Bassa politics? Isaac Jackson, you know Grand Bassa County. It's like competing against Abakanga, Reverend Dr. Abakanga competing against Charles Brumskine. It's a no-brainer. It's not even a fight. It's clear. You're talking about, look, I was born and raised in Bikino, went to high school, left from Bikino after I graduated from high school. That is how much I know the place. And in Bikino, there's one unique thing about Grand Bassa County. Everything in Bikino were on a surname basis. So we're talking about the Greaves, the Greaves son, or the Reeves, the Kanga, the different things that have Bikino were growing up. And in all these families, if you go to Bikino right now, a lot of us left. Now, one of the different things that I saw even the last couple of years I've been going there, a lot of us traveled different part of the world. Few people still there. A lot of the older folks have died, but that legacy remains. That's why we got a lot of strangers in Bikino. And what does she bring to the table politically? I think nothing. When you watch the crowd today, if you watch the crowd, look, it was just an act of desperation that why Cummings had to choose this lady, and I wish that she hadn't put her political career on the line just to because of Cummings personal ambition, but she brings little to the table as far as gathering votes in Grand Bassa County, because there's going to be a competition between the Kanga and the Brumskine, and you know who wins. Any day, Abakanga going to win, because even though they are not on the ballot, the family that has the most name recognition in Bikino, you know that is something. So I think she would have been better off going on as a representative versus going on as a vice president. Because when you look at that crowd today, they were completely disconnected from the event. I saw people just there standing or as passerby watching the event. I saw people just being in the crowd. And I listened to her speech. She said three things in her speech. The speech was boring. the speech was very boring. She said one thing, I speak for that 14-year-old child that is in Nukuta that watch soccer. And then she speak about investor not coming. And then the whole beginning of the speech, she started always talking about her boyfriend, or now husband, how you phone her. I thought the whole thing was just, I couldn't understand why that was even, how did that even come in the whole presentation. I thought that was very terrible. I didn't even know what she told. So she was speaking above the people, the crowd that there. That is not another thing that I noticed. So it showed a ticket that is completely disconnected from the Liberian people, or ticket that is not only that, but culturally insensitive to our political dynamic. And I don't know how can you want to win an election. So what I see here is these people should just leave the race, hang this thing, or support the person that can pull something up. If you just want to be there just to be part of the number, be my guest. But I didn't see anything serious here today that will put a dent into Ambassador Boyka, impressive win that is about to happen. I didn't see nothing. If this ticket today, the program today, was something that was meant to at least put a dent in Ambassador Boyka popularity, it didn't happen. In fact, it just confirmed what we already knew.
Actually, welcome, Lami, Councillor Lami Bakor. Welcome to the show. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to come to Lami, even though I usually go by the order you came in, if it's okay with you guys, because I just want to get a mixture of perspective at the same time. So, Daniel, let me just go to, I see that he's not even here. Yeah. And since I'm waiting for, since I'm waiting for, I'm going to go to you, Daniel. You want to talk here? What is the merit of having a female, Charlene Brumskine, on the ticket?
Well, first and foremost, I think it is difficult to have a civil conversation with your panelists, because I see that he want to reduce the whole conversation to personal attack, talking about Mr. Kun, who is a vice senator bearer to Ambassador Boyka, is a contaminated character. The first thing, I do not expect Isaac to be the one raising such argument, because right beside Mr. Cummings is a notorious man whom we all know in most ability. And even Charlene Brumskine you're talking about, her law firm benefit from all the retainership from the government. So Kun is an elected official of the government. He served in a constitutional capacity. My own sister, Charlene Brumskine, her law friend, got all the contract with Central Bank. And that's how her boyfriend even got a lucrative job he got at Central Bank. So you don't want us to have a civil conversation and leave all the personal attack alone. That being said, that emergency, I think I would like to begin from where Fadi got stopped. Charlene is academically qualified, but politically, she's a non-entity. I don't see what dividend does she add to the Cummings ticket. And to a greater extent, I don't think Mr. Cummings' story is even adding up. His story is not adding up because I see him, he keeps making the newcomer's mistake. In 2005, 2017, Mr. Cummings named Jeremiah Slonte from Bond County as a running mate. And he desperately performed in a race. The little over 100,000 votes Cummings got, but because of the newcomer factor, people say, oh, Cummings, they're coming, and nobody knows much about him and this and that. But Liberian have actually seen that Mr. Cummings is not a clean man that he professes to be. You cannot be a clean man when you collude with Musa Berete, a man who is, in the words of Isaac Jackson, who has myriad of corruption charges hovering over his head, internationally indicted and convicted by FIFA for nothing, for stealing Ebola money. And you say you are a change agent. So this whole cliche about Cummings being a change agent doesn't hold. That's why I see that they stop calling him Mr. Clean Hand. They're now calling him Mr. Fixer. I actually believe that he's a faker. He's not a fixer. So Charlene Brumskine talking about whether she can galvanize the Bassa support, like what they try to fictitiously create today. That, oh, she's a daughter of Bassa, a daughter of Bassa who cannot say hello in Bassa. Who cannot say hello in Bassa? The two persons on the ticket, the Cummings and Brumskine ticket, they both of them cannot say hello in their local vernacular. So it becomes a problem that such ticket cannot connect in keeping with the geographical balance of the country. You are a Bassa woman, but even the middle name that you carry, Mlama, you don't know what Mlama means in Bassa. Okay? What would I expected that when Charlene Brumskine mounted the podium today, instead of narrating the story out to how she met her boyfriend and this and that, and you know, she would have addressed the Bassa people in Bassa, like her late father Charles Brumskine, whom I campaigned for in 2 separate elections, would do. He would greet the people in Bassa and then continue the conversation in a way, and then it's a sense of belonging. But the next thing here is Charlene Brumskine does not have a story that connects to the people of Bassa, the people of Liberia. Who does she go to school with? Who are her friends? So the 2 persons on the coming Brumskine ticket come across as group of elitists who are ganging up with the mentality that they want the country back at all costs. Okay? So that ticket is an elitist ticket. And for me, I do not see anything that it places on the resounding victory that Ambassador Bwaka is poised to get by the vote of the Liberian people.
Okay. Thank you.
That ticket is going to die in natural death on October 10th. I do not see how it's going to resonate with the people, because from all indication, Mr. Cummings has got no natural support base in Liberia, even in Maryland County. I'm told that he's trying to coerce Senator Jim Bannon to come to him to support him. Jim Bannon gave him Koto, so he's not on his own. Even in Grand Bassa County, the 2 elected senators will be supporting Joe Bata.
I'm coming back to you. Keep some. I'm coming back to you. Keep some. Yeah. Mr. Jackson, I'm going to let you go ahead, and then it'll be my turn. Yes, we can hear you. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, good. You know, I want to keep an elevated conversation, but there's I got the boy from Nyombli's office. He tried to distract all of us. He doesn't have the intellectual wherewithal to stand here and make any sensible argument. And so he goes on a personal attack and try to even play tribal card. And the reason why he playing tribal card is because he supports.
Get to your camera so we can see your face.
He supports a ticket that is tribalistic in its entirety. And that's why he is accustomed to playing tribal card. For us, and for those are the people who support Kumi, they're not tribalistic. I mean, all of Mr. Bwaka's life, he's been peddling the tribal argument. Oh, somebody got to speak native tongue. Oh, he's a loafer man beating his chest. They comical thing you do. When people lead Liberia, they're not leading particular tribal groups or ethnic groups. They lead the country, elevate the country in its entirety, young man. And only a soft-brain moron will make an argument that a lawyer representing somebody in the government or got a contract from the government and mean the lawyer supports that government. It can only come from a soft-brain moron like this guy, Sandu, down there, right? That's his name. Because he's a soft-brain moron. He can draw a simple line or dichotomy between a lawyering responsibility and a support to the government. My friend, Tia won't go to represent the people in this government. Does he support the government? Nimadi won a respected lawyer in the country from Cornell. He get contract from the government too. Does he support the CDC government? No. So, brother, you got to go to school and learn how to argue and learn how to reason things out. When you come here and say you're representing Nyomli, so now we got to entertain you because, she's our sister too. And the other brother was saying, oh, you talk about the name politics. Even the name politics you talk about. In Amash Akanga is a brand name in Bassa. Councillor Brumskine is a brand name. It was Brumskine's father, Charlene's grandfather, who was respected by all Bassa-speaking people to be what? Gayenyo Kuipoyo. That was the man who served as poor man lawyer. Even our native people from the up interior. Today you saw traditional leaders over there speaking the native tongue. Fadiga, what are you talking about? Our people from up interior were there to show their solidarity. So Charlie doesn't have to go there and say, oh, I'm the grand Bassa queen, so I got to speak. This conversation got to be elevated. She doesn't represent Bassa people. If she get elected, she will represent Liberia. And Liberia has 16 tribal groups, right? should be speaking for all of them. You know, my sister, I think Kumi has made a very good and a brilliant decision and a brilliant choice. You know, Maraceli did something remarkable. She also helped to have the women in Liberian politics engrafted into the national political scene. And she heralded the campaign. That's what today you talk about what? 30% of women participation. It was a clever way to have women engrafted into the national politics, to have women participate. Charlene represents the young women of this country. Charlene also represents the youthful generation of the country. So you can't dismiss and say, oh, she not bring something. No, she brings something. She brings intellectual dexterity. She's an astute lawyer for her age. See the level of educational credentials she had. She will inspire other young women. When Madam Sally won the presidency, she inspired thousands of women across, not just Liberia, but across the world. When you saw women in Liberia today, chiefs are women. Your chiefs are women, right? Today we see our girls and they put lapa on their shoulder. Captain Madam Sally, she inspired a whole generation of women that can stand up today. Even our own sister, Nyomli, you talk about. I want to be very earnest with Nyomli. You know, she's my sister. I disagree with her sometimes. I'm going to be respectful of her. Sister Nyomli is not on the ticket. So Abakanga, if you talk, but it's funny, I want to talk about the Kanga, the brand new politics. He comes and argue against himself. Nyomli is not on the ticket. Nyomli is not serving as a cheerleader for a ticket that have been endorsed by the notorious murderer in Liberia's history. Nyomli, my sister, is not cheerleading a ticket that has Prince Johnson, the man who has a dark stain and a scar on our country and our democracy. That is the ticket that our sister is trying to support. So, my friend, you can't do this to the discussion. This discussion, we try our best and we're trying to restrain ourselves to be respectful of the panel. What I'm saying here is that Sister Charlene brings a whole lot. I'm going to learn, my dear sister. I'm going to learn. Sister Charlene brings a whole lot. She brings youthful idealism. She will inspire young women to emulate her. She's not on Ways and Means Committee like Kun, dividing money with CDC people and take the center accused Kun of taking $1 million from the budget to support a private clinic in Nimba County. Does that concern you, my friend? Does that concern my sister Nyomli? Does that concern Omen Boaka himself, who said he's going to fight corruption?
Keep some, Mr. Jackson. We're coming back around. So I want to welcome Stanton to the show as well. I also want to just put a caveat out there. Let's try to be very respectful to each other, have a civil conversation. Obviously, it is clear that we have different political ideology. We support different political parties here, but we can still be civil with each other. I think we have to model that behavior for the people that are watching us and listening to us. So let's keep that in mind. Actually, it was my turn to actually talk about my thought about Charlene, but I'm going to actually go to Stanton, and then I'll go to Councillor Lami Parkour, and then I'll be the last. I learned that from Mr. Cummings, by the way. You know, leaders behave lastly. Stanton, your thoughts about Charlene being on the ticket or the program or the show?
I got nothing to say.
Okay, all right.
I got nothing to say about Charlene being on TK. She's a decent lady. If it is well with CPP, Mr. Cummings, it is what it is. I'm just happy that now we know that all the political leaders, with the exception of Chewonse Gonglo and the rest of them, the three top political leaders have their VP running mate. George Weah Jewel, Joseph Boaka get Kun, and Mr. Cummings got Charlene. Let the battle begin. Now we all going to move in the territory. Those that are for or against, they will make their argument to win more votes. As objective as we all going to be, I want to give kudos up to Mr. Cummings that he have finally found someone after many years. and I think CPP should be happy. We would talk about Charlene as to what she brings to the table. That's what I'm interested in. Who is she? Can she deliver Bassa for Mr. Cummings without we seeing all the yellow buses and green buses in Grand Bassa? Can she bring all Bazodians in their numbers? But one thing I want to send a shout out to my daughter, the last graduation for this year that I just got back. She graduated Bachelor of Science. I'm happy. So it's done for the graduates to the next 7 years when Stanton is getting out, or when Sam is getting out in the next few years, Sam and James in Europe. But I will add real quick, Mr. Cummings and whosoever organized the program, one of the greatest achievements was Western God family that endorsed Mr. Cummings. That's a plus, to be fair. A lot of political folks that were looking for the endorsement of Western God family. Mr. Cummings received that endorsement. That was good, and because it was good, I think one of those things we'll always talk about. That was a good steal. It was a good steal from George Manawia. It was a good steal from Unity Party. But then Western God will have to answer to the Bazodian and answer to folks in Liberia as to the real Western God please stand. You coming, CDC coming against you, Unity Party coming against you, the Jonathan Kape and Yomdi Kangada beat you 2 times already. She's coming back for you. The Delon is coming back for you, Western God. So Western God has placed himself in a territory now that no retreat, no surrender. And we can have that conversation. But I think 100%, I said it yesterday, that Western God was going to endorse. I said it yesterday. I heard he was going to be at the program. And indeed, my sources were correct. So let's have a great show, guys. Yes, indeed, we shouldn't be personal, but let's discuss the issue. Liberian people want to know the issue. They want to hear the issue. You all know we are on Spoon TV, Spoon FM, Super TV, Super FM, Fabric TV, Fabric FM. We're going to be having a wonderful show here, but I must admit, I am pleased that everyone have the number 2 with a session of Tewon Say, Gonglo, and the others. And now let the debate begin. Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Councillor Lami Pakwa. Councillor, welcome to the show. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I'm just going to ask you to give your thoughts about the program today, and also the merits of having Charlene Brumskine on the ticket.
So just like Stanton, I don't think I have much to add about her as an individual. Every political party has the right of selecting their candidates, whether it's president or vice president. They have the right to do that. So they should not give worry to any political party. I mean, I see some of our brothers angry, trying to tear them down. I mean, those kind of pedestrian way of responding to things, I think we should move away from them now. The people had their program, they decided who would be the running mate. That should not be UP business. That should not be LPP business. That should not be CDC business. It should be their business. Whether they have crowd there, whether they didn't have crowd there, whether the president speaks Bassa or not, I mean, those are irrelevant. Those are irrelevant things that we shouldn't be wasting our time on. And like yesterday, I pointed out that we should elevate the discussion to policies. In fact, you guys said no, they don't want to talk policy. I mean, we got to elevate the discussion and get away from the petty things. But whether somebody found the ugly, whether the person can marry or not marry, whether the person can speak a particular language or not, I mean, even those who always speak our languages, how well we speak it, for it to be an issue. Even those who can be talking the language issue, how many of us we even allow our children to learn the local languages that we're from? So those things are not relevant to the discussion anymore. A friend of mine called me today and he was telling me that he watched the show every night. He said, you guys got to stop going after issues. I told him, I said, I mean, most times we don't go after other people, but we have to get the discussion to the level where we guide the Liberian people properly. This thing about who got crowd or who has the most beautiful person behind them, those things are irrelevant pedestrian logics that we got to get away from. What kind of pedestrian way of thinking? Put them on one side and start talking the real thing. What your person bring to the table, and how is it going to move the Liberian people life forward? What the person brings to the table and how we move it forward. If you say you want to remove George Weah from office, Stop talking about whether somebody can speak Bassa or not. That's not relevant to the discussion. Let's go to the actual issue.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna, as a female, I'm gonna give my thoughts about Charlene being on the ticket and what it means for Liberia. I think it's important to hear that from that perspective. I actually see her story as a beautiful love story for Liberia. I see that how sometimes when you are giving so much, you have to give back. And I see that this is somebody to whom much was given, and she's now giving back. I see how she representing Liberian women. She was intelligently speaking. She connected to Liberian women. Every time I see her, I see different videos of her. She's, interacting with Liberian women. And I think that's very important, especially since we have such a sexist society. I think it's important in our women have been marginalized. I think her presence on the ticket, okay, will uplift the spirit of women in our country. It will send a message that, you woman, no matter where you are, what you're doing, how you feel about yourself, you can rise up and be perhaps the second person on the ticket. I see it as I see her as something biblical, honoring your mother and your father. This is someone who is the oldest of Charles Brumskine children, and she is actually modeling what all parents expect of their children. The legacy. She's following her father's legacy. Her father who spoke about unity in the country. I go back to that. I saw him, in a videotape where he asked for a leader that will not be tribalistic, but a leader that will be that will come and you find ways to unite Liberia, and she does that. I see a story of course, women again, because there's almost 50% of us in the country. See how this woman is managing her own law firm, that you can do it. You can start off from somewhere. You can serve as a contractor with the government and learn how things work in the government, and then rise up where you become the person to be selected to be on a ticket. I see youth inclusiveness. She's got a lot of spirit. She's young. She's, she was including the youth in the program today. That's why you have all the entertainers that were, attractive to the young people. Of course, there's a video that I like very much. I've seen of Charlene interacting. She's actually playing soccer, I think, with the kids on the street. That is a message to our young people that we are now going to include you. We are going to give you time for different parts of your life. There's a time that you will go to school, and also there's a time that you will play, because both of those things are healthy for your development. I see, I just see her as a beautiful story for Liberia, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that a lot more. But I see as a selfless leader, and the same way I see Mr. Cummings as a selfless leader. People who want to do for Liberia, people who want to manage our healthcare, our education system, our economy. They want to be able to bring change to those things. We're on a trajectory right now that if you give Mr. Cummings and Charlene a chance, you will see a change Liberia. So I will stop there, and then we'll go for our second round of conversation here. Just give me 1 second.
Let me ask you a question quick. Can I ask you a question real quick? I beg you, Daniel Sando. I forgot I didn't say hi to my former friend, Isaac Jackson. Yes, you're my former friend, because, we'll have that discussion later. But that real quick though, am I missing something? This question for Fadika and Daniel Sando. Dr. Richardson sees Charlene as everything but an angel. Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, is she including that Charlene? Charlene is an angel.
The audience will believe.
Because we have our first female president, first in Africa. Not first, but a female vice president currently. Am I missing something with Dr. Richardson?
No, you are missing something.
No, but let me finish, Dr. Richardson. That's what we have the conversation.
I'm sorry. I'll let you finish and then I'll respond. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm asking for Dika and Daniel Sando though.
No,
No, I would have to respond because you're not going to use this time to monopolize the situation and gang up against me.
Can I ask my question? Can I ask my question, though?
No, I'm just giving you warning that this time is not going to be used to gang up against me as a woman speaking about another woman.
Ain't nobody ganging up against you. Don't put out anything in it.
You asking two people who you know.
I got my own will to ask people who I want to ask, right?
Oh, wow, yeah, I'm going to give
you bringing in the female card? Why are you bringing the female card when I'm asking my question?
It just doesn't
Nobody ganging up. Nobody ganging up against you. It's just a question.
It just doesn't seem.
I heard, Daniel Sanders, I heard that Charlene is an angel. Holy Mary, for the grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are thou among women. Blessed is the fruit of the womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us, Charlene. That's what I'm hearing. I don't care if they can take it anywhere. That's what I'm hearing. Charlene is the Mother of God right now praying for CPP. That's what I'm hearing. But don't forget, I say you can laugh on the show. You got all right to laugh. I know what it'll come from all of me, but Dr. Richardson is taking this all of me right now. I'm hearing about that Holy Mary Charlene. Pray for CPP. Mother of God Charlene. Pray for CPP. Guess what? We had the Holy Mary before. Madam President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Madam President that brought the Charlene, brought the Cummings, and brought the Basson guy today. Don't let us go there. I decided to be quiet. So I'm asking you, Fadika. I'm asking you, Daniel Sando. Am I hearing the Holy Mary?
No, I was going. My point was going exactly right there. So it was just
before Fadika come in, I just wanted to say to Councilor Lamik Pabo that his assertion was very disrespectful.
Let Fadika answer my question. You're there picking on this most, but lead that one, Daniel. I'm going somewhere with that. Beg you, allow Fadika to answer my question. You will come to Lami. Y'all lead each other person. Listen, these guys ain't get a vice presidential candidate now. They go after them. Every one of them. So Fadiga, please talk to me. Am I hearing the Holy Mary rosary? Am I rolling the rosary?
Look. The thing is, we have Madam Sirleaf for 12 years, and we all know the woman was an economic dictator, and we saw what this lady did in Liberia. We saw her track record. She left from power, turned the country over to an inept kakistocracy that we are dealing with right now, and we're running helter skelter to remove. Not only that, Joy Howard had proven to be one of the worst vice presidents we have seen so far. She's just there. She was denigrated so many times. Look. In as much as we love our women and we want them to strive, and we are striving. I have a daughter, so when I see Charlene, Councilor Brumskine, I see my daughter too. I wish she was that example that I want my daughter to emulate. But that doesn't mean that because they are female, they have always gotten it right. The first two females that have risen to prominence have proven to be very wrong. Look what Madam Sirleaf did. This woman became 16. She presided over 16 billion foreign direct investment. She did everything, turned the country over to an inept bunch of individuals just to protect herself. Look at Joel. This woman was disgraced for the first 3-4 years of this presidency. She's still there being very divisive and in there. And Charlene Brumskine, she's a fine person. I don't think that I haven't seen anything. I don't think she's a saint as Doug want to put it. But what she brings her own baggage. Look, what Cummings is lacking in popularity, in constituents, he cannot get that from Charlene. And that is the disturbing part of this ticket. Cummings needs to bring the lion's share to the table. Look, Daniel said something today. Before look, I listened to all the gobbledygook from Asset Jackson. That's how he speaks. I didn't hear anything new. I didn't even hear anything new from him. He's saying things that we already know. Some of them embellished, but that is not what this discussion is about. The discussion right now has been elevated to the fact that Ambassador Boyka has his running mate. Now we have Charlene Brumskine as running mate to Mr. Cummings. What does she bring to the table? I think politically she brings zero, nada. Look, one of the points that she missed today. Look, you don't have to speak your native tongue. Or someone grew up in area that we started to speak English as our first language. She left from the country. But you, as a politician, you can practice at least one phrase. One phrase. Look, if you are not culturally conscious, Liberia is a very traditional country. I listen to Councillor want us to believe that Lami want us to believe that Liberia, everything is okay in Liberia, and we do not have our own country. We fought civil war, tribal war in that country. And those things that brought about the war are still lingering. And you want to behave that everything free in the country, everything saying kumbaya, we also there are still some cultural problems. We still have some historical problems that we have not dealt with in our country. And you want to be culturally insensitive and sit down and say you're running for president and you want nobody to talk. You can bully other people, but nobody can bully me into silence because there are 170-something years of problem that we are still dealing with. When you talk about generational poverty, look, we know what happened to African Americans in the country. The white America, they took the wealth. By the time it's just been since the 64, African Americans started to accumulate wealth in this country. We're talking about historic generational poverty that African Americans are still playing catch up. We're talking about a vast number of our people that are still destitute, poverty. We got a group of people that still got half of the country. They own all the land, half of the land. And then you don't want to take that into consideration. And who's going to be voting for you, Rack? All we are saying is, if you are smart, look, Samuel Jackson, I don't agree with most of the things he said, but he said something today that he said the educated people in Liberia, they are very ignorant, culturally ignorant. I think that's one of the things that play here. People are very insensitive to what is going on in that country. And you think that the people will vote for you. So when I see such a ticket, I know that it's going nowhere. This thing is not going to go anywhere. So for Charlene being a sin, I think she just put a dent in her political career. I think she should have gone to become a representative in Grand Bassa County. Like I said, she said we're on Facebook. We tell her to that run. So she got some revolution she was talking about. What revolution? You are now a revolutionary. You never suffered a day in your life. You grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth. Not that it's a bad thing. But don't talk about revolution. Save that for the true revolutionary. So my good friend Lamin, look, everything is not rosy in Liberia. We still have some problems, some cultural challenges, some different issues that have been unresolved in that country. So don't behave that if to say something. You say we should elevate the discussion. Elevate the discussion to what? So that I listen to Councillor Gongo platform. I listen to Councillor Gongo platform. What and we want to poke hole in it, we can tear that thing apart.
That's not putting the hole in there. That's not putting the hole in it.
No,
Fadiga,
Thank you. I think Dr. Richardson is moderating, guys. Dr. Richardson is moderating.
Can I come in?
No, hold on 1 minute. Let me hold on 1 minute. Al Hassan. Dr. Richard says, I would just ask you a question.
Yeah, so see, let me lay my thought.
Go ahead, Daniel, go ahead.
Let me lay my thought on your point. You know, Dr. Richardson asked a question. I mean, what do you make up to this program? And I was very emphatic. I said, we wish Charlene Brumskine and Mr. Cummings well. She has exercised her political rights to form a line with Mr. Cummings. We wish her well. So I didn't disparage her. Nobody disparaged her. When you ask us, what do you make of this ticket? What does she bring to the table? Then I said she's a political non-entity. And I see you trying to undermine the very reasonable argument I made from my opening statement that, oh, Charlie is this, Charlie is that. How does going on the stage dancing with Teddy Ra put you in the cultural setting of the country? How does it? I talk about Charlie not having a story. Does she have a story to convince the young girls who have been reduced to prostitution every day on the street? Does she have a story? Charlene Brumskine doesn't know what it means to go to bed on empty stomach. So we are going to say it for a personal attacks. So whether the lawyer in the room likes it or not, it's no personal attack. The ticket, as announced by Mr. Cummings today, is culturally insensitive. It does not reflect the geographical broad-based balance of the country. And we are going to say it. Nobody here will be looking for a cent. When you talk about Baka is leaning with people who are warlords and criminals, then you want to open a Pandora box to constrain us to also dig deep into Mr. Cummings' closet. And that's what I started doing. Who is Mr. Benedict? Who is Benedict? And the whole country is crying. This means a notorious, in your own word, Asa Jackson. When you talk on all the radio stations in the country to tear down Mr. Benedict when you begin chairman of the Liberty Party. When you ask a Jazzy, you let her go on the insulting spree against Charles Brumskine, calling him a bald-headed Congo man. When you're not tribalistic, you want to kind of lecture us about being tribal. Who doesn't know as a Jazzy in this country? Who doesn't know you? So, like Fadiga said, the things you say here, you usually come on the radio to clown. We're not here to clown. We're here to add substance to the national conversation. And so let us stick to that. When you come to clown, we're not going to clown. I can go on to say that you now as a person, the very Brumskine, you insulted in this country for 3-4 years when you work with Ellen, who became the most corrupt president in this country. You are now telling, look, you don't do that to yourself, as you are a lawyer. Lawyers should be speaking with repetition. You don't do that.
Dr. Richardson?
Nobody got against Charlene. Nobody insulting us yet.
Answer your question.
Why does she bring to the
That's
table?
a question. Are you satisfied with the answer?
No, Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, I think we should say this. Hold on, Paco. I beg you cancel Paco. I think we should be fair on the show tonight because your camp, the CPP camp, the ANC camp had their program today. So I think you need somebody independent like me to moderate. So I will ask you, if you don't mind, to have a fair, balanced conversation.
No,
allow me to moderate.
That's you moderate.
Because if you moderate, Dr. Richardson, you would definitely, that's your party. Musa Ability, that's your man.
It's okay.
Mr. Cummings, that's your man.
It's okay.
Charlene, that's the Holy Mary for the grace. The law is with thee. So let's just go ahead and call spade a spade. As much as I like you, Dr. Richardson, I would beg you to give me the power today to moderate. I will not moderate except you say go ahead, Stento. I will not do so. I'm going to go ahead?
Go ahead.
Oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus Christ. Lord mercy. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. But my question to you, man, seriously speaking, are you selling Charlene as an angel? We had the first female president in Africa, Madame Salif. Madame Salif. Look at our country today. Vice President, Jua Howard Taylor. Look who she hanging out with. Are you telling me? I'm not going through the other road or other people are walking right now. I'm staying on my lane. What makes Charlene a better person and she will serve Liberia as a better vice president? Dr. Richardson, Francine, Chinwe Richardson. Then we'll go to Asa Jackson.
You know, it's so interesting when we talk about the progress and development of Liberia. You know, men always like to come out and say, well, we had a female president. They forget to know that we have over 160 male presidents who brought us perhaps to where we are. And then we want to capitalize on women, okay? Liberian women are on the rise, no matter what you do. I believe Charlene's ticket fits the bid for she fits the category for meeting the needs of our young people. Over 60% of people in the country are young. They are hanging in the streets. They don't have a career. They don't have any jobs. Charlene will be able to represent Mr. Cummings. She has the knowledge, she has the skills, she's able to negotiate as a leader should. And those experiences came from her being a manager of a law firm and also managing many contracts with the government. Okay, so we can come here today and we can talk about, oh, she was on this board, she was a government, and she introduced her boyfriend. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? It has nothing to do. The woman who in the hospital right now held as a hostage in JFK, that's not her issue. Her issue is, how is Charlene going to be able to negotiate with the legislature or with international partners to bring food to Liberia? How is Charlene going to negotiate with the legislature, with international partners to help improve our education system? That is what we need someone to be able to do. And she is the right woman. I'm not saying only God can make angels. Okay, to answer your question directly, only God can do that. But she is a woman of hope, a woman who represents inclusiveness. She's not less of a Liberian just because she didn't speak a native language. And you know, when people talk about Liberia like as if Liberia is a monolithic country, like all of us, we just the same, we get one language, we dress one way, we dance one way. Liberia is a multicultural country. We have to understand that. Okay, she's no less of Liberian because she doesn't speak a language. Like anyone who speaks a language is no more of a Liberian. So we need to be able to understand and send the right message to Liberians. This is not about politics. The child who's selling in the street don't care about all of these political things that some of you guys are so entrenched into. And on that note, I'm saying she makes a good addition to Mr. Cummings' ticket. Mr. Cummings and Charlene will bring change to Liberia in a way that we have not seen. They are not part of the government. You know, Mr. Cummings said something the last time I witnessed his speech. He said, I'm glad I have no experience in government according to the Liberian people's term, especially the ones who've been in government, okay? He said, because the government that we have not served our people right. They have capitalized on corruption. And I'm paraphrasing him. So if we had a good example of a government that we can say, oh, I want to emulate this government official. We don't. Since 1847, we have not had one. And so now it's good for us to be able to recognize the leadership skills. I'm not talking about experience. I'm not talking about experience where somebody who's been in government for 40 years or more. I'm talking about recognizing leadership skills and what it means. And I'm done.
Thank you. Dr. Richardson, before I leave you and go to your brother Isaac, you know, I don't know how Isaac came on the show today, folks. Don't ask me. I tell you, I have not spoken to this guy in so many years, but he's a good guy. But before I go to the minister, former deputy minister, Isaac Jackson, the ambassador, Isaac Jackson, the good lawyer, Isaac Jackson. Before I go to Isaac Jackson, let me welcome my retired corner, Aaron Gray. Let me welcome him to the show. Dr. Richardson, though, I want you to understand. You said Mr. Cummings had a conversation with you and say, I'm grateful. I want you to be very clear because I don't want anyone to misconstrue what you just said, that I didn't work in government. Can you help us understand the context, please?
Yes. I was at Monrovia about 3 weeks ago at the speech that Mr. Cummings gave. And he was saying that many people, actually, I will read the paragraph of the speech, but it was about working in government. So people come here and highlight this, oh, government, Mr. Cummings has no experience in government. And he said, I'm happy I don't have the kind of experience in government that you're talking about. The kind of experience. A corrupt experience, the kind of experience.
So what I'm driving.
Please wait, small. I beg you. The kind of experience of sharing brown envelope. He does not have that experience. The kind of experience of not seeing the best interest of Liberians. He does not have that kind of experience, and that's what he was telling the crowd when I was there. And I'm paraphrasing him.
So he didn't say I didn't work in government. He said I didn't have that kind of experience in government. I just want us to be, because on the other side it say he never worked in the government in Liberia. So I just want you to be clear.
Well, the issue, and I see where you get into. You get into highlighting and mimicking this topic of, oh, Mr. Cummings have not worked in government, so that is a fault of his, or that is not good for leadership in Liberia. And the fact of the matter is, our government have not served us right. No government in our country has served.
I agree, but Dr. Richardson, I just want to understand. Did Mr. Cummings say he have never worked in government in Liberia? That's just my question.
That is not my issue. That is.
No, so I'm asking you. You are quoting from Mr. Cummings. Is that what he said? That he never worked in Liberian government?
Your question right now is immaterial to my conversation. What the conversation is about, the experience that will help Liberian people. Saying whether you work in government or you didn't work in government is immaterial to this conversation right now.
So you cannot give me the exact quote that you were quoting from?
Yeah, I can find it for you. Let me find it for you.
Let me go to the good counselor. I hope you're not taking this in a bad faith, though, because I just wanted to clarify your statement before someone said Dr. Richardson say. But good counselor, though.
I'll find it for you.
Counselor Isaac. Thank you. Isaac Jackson, it's good to see you, my brother. It's been a while. I heard that you went to Liberia and the people were saying, no, they couldn't work with you. You came back hurriedly because there was no space under Mr. Cummings' tent. If that's true, I'm sorry, I'm just telling you. You know me very well. We met, we drank the pepper soup, we ate fufu, you and myself. Let's have a good conversation tonight. Charlene Brumskine, If you're not talking about the opposition to CPPP, what do you think the Charlene Brumskine brings to the table that Charles Walker Brumskine couldn't bring? That you, Asa Jackson, insulted Charles Walker Brumskine. That you, Asa Jackson, berated the entire Liberty Party. That you, Asa Jackson, say her father was unfit at some point to be president of Liberia. What's the difference? What does she bring that her father didn't bring at the time?
The first thing I will start with in response to your first comment, then I go to your question, is to place on the record a quotation by Dr. Boyma Famule, one of the towering intellectuals in our country. He said, for people who steal and kill, lying can be a child's play. And what I would want to do for the conversation, I will emphasize and I will de-emphasize the kill. For a guy who is accused of stealing like you, to lie on this platform is going to be a child's play. Nobody ever told you, and if they told you, it's a deliberate falsehood, that I left Liberia because I couldn't fit on a communist tank. That is a silly lie. It can be disproved but on several levels. Because when I was leaving Liberia, I wrote and I put it in the chat room that we all belong to. All right. So when you start to market your lies, then you got to be careful how you market those lies. Because everywhere in Liberian politics, I am most needed. You understand, my friend? So you got to get away from lying. I know you've been accused of stealing, but lying is not something that will elevate this platform. And I think you will do well. You will do well to desist from lying. The other thing I want to say, you will do well to desist from lying. The other thing,
I said, let me hold you right there because you have some order on the show. Do not come with that anger, okay? Because we can display the anger. Because before you choose to go to Liberia, Isaac, before you choose to go to Liberia, you begged me to help you. I don't want to say it. And you know that I got a text message. You begged me to help you. So do not get out of your skin if I'm telling you that I hurt for you to directly insult me after you begged me to help you with transportation to go serve Mr. Commies. You don't want to do that, Isaac Jackson. You don't want to do that, Isaac Jackson. Before we drank the fufu soup, Isaac Jackson, in Minnesota, before we drank the fufu soup in Minnesota, Isaac, you begged me. You don't want to go there. Before you came to Europe, you begged me and I helped you. Before you settled in Minnesota, you begged me and I helped you. So you don't want to be personal. I asked you a direct question. And you don't come here to say you want to attack me. If you say that I stole the money, but I used the money to transport you from Europe to Minnesota. I used the money to take care of you while you live in Minnesota. I helped you. I used the money when you begged me to go to Liberia. I transported you. I said, don't sit on this show. Do not sit on the show.
You are a dangerous liar.
Do not sit on the show for
I see why the American.
Do not sit on the show one day. You will give me a chance. I will give you a chance. I say, I will give you a chance. I say, you will wait. I'm moderating. I will give you a chance. I say, hold your peace. Hold your peace. Brother, hold your peace. Hold your peace. I will give you a chance. I will still bring you back. I can't take you away, Isaac.
I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that.
I can't listen, Isaac. I get a thick skin. I can never take you away. But we'll do it one at a time. For you as a reasonable counselor.
I'd like to make a suggestion.
No, Dr. Richardson. Don't make a suggestion now. Don't make a suggestion now. No, it's man to man. Asa Johnson get thick skin.
I don't think it's helpful for the show.
I like man to man.
No, Dr. Richardson.
I like man to man.
No, Dr. Richardson.
Because you guys are airing things that.
No, I'm man to man. I like that.
It's not making any sense at all. It's not helping us. This is not the kind of conversation.
It's man to man. I like it. I like that. That's man to man.
You brought Isaac Jackson for us to have a conversation on the show. Let's have the conversation.
Good conversation.
I've been knowing Isaac Jackson. Let me say this to you. You know when they say.
No, but Pastor, you first lie. You told.
No, give me a chance. I will give you a chance. I said, hold your peace. You will talk today. You were talking,
but you lie. You lie.
No, I said, hold your peace. You will talk today. We're not hearing you because it means that you will
Mr.
wait.
Jackson.
You will wait.
Mr.
You know,
Jackson.
if you talk, I have to talk.
I say you will talk.
Mr.
You will talk.
Jackson.
You will talk, my brother. You
Can
will
we
talk. Wait.
Can we
Wait.
please not go into
Don't get under
discussing
your skin.
personal issue on the show?
When we're having a show, we bring people from all walks of life. Fadika, Daniel Sano, Dr. Richardson, Councillor Lamine, Remy Gray. I do not attack anyone on this show.
No.
Right? I do not attack anyone's character. But when I hear something, I bring it up. If that's your will to say it is not true, say it is not true. I'm not pinning it on you. This my brother Isaac Jackson. He know where he and myself came from.
No, you must keep.
No, you were weird. You were weird. Let me make my case. You will not argue. You will have your time. Take your pen and your paper. This my brother Isaac Jackson. Since he was in Europe stranded. I don't like to do this.
Did you send me money in Europe?
Brother, wait now. Wait, hold your peace now.
You better belong to it.
Don't be hasty, brother. Don't be hasty, brother. Don't be hasty. You on the spoon talk.
Show me.
Don't be hasty. You are not. They're not hearing you, I say. You will follow the order today. You on spoon talk. Nobody hearing you. Stop talking. Nobody hearing you. Stop talking. So let me say this. I don't like to do this, guys. But when Isaac Jackson come on the show, right? And he come to say, oh, Stanton, they say you stole money, Alpha. Some of the money that he's saying that they say I stole, he want to bring up today, is some of the people then that I took care of. Okay? He's one of those that I took care of. I'm not lying. He got stranded. I cash out the brother. I help him to find a place to stay. That he will come on the show today and says, and he left the conversation though, and he said, oh, Stanton, because you stole, you cannot lie. How dare he? That I gave him money. He wanted to go to Liberia, Mr. Cummings. How dare he that I helped him with transportation to go to Liberia, Mr. Cummings. We went to Minnesota, and everybody that was in that room, you know who else was it? It was this girl, Robina. She cooked the pepper soup. This brother was there. I had to go in my car and take money and give it to the brother. You had all this garden. Ben Semby, Tomani George, Peabody, and everybody that came to see your Robina. This brother traveled under the coal. Under the coal he traveled. And he came. And I went. And I gave him money. The text messages are here. These things, I don't like to say it. If we're having a conversation, let's have the conversation. You don't come and have a conversation and say you attack me because I say you don't fit under Mr. Cummings' tent.
Well, the man keep attacking all. So
I don't
you
know. I said Jackson for you.
I said Jackson right there.
Let me say you, January 13, the man been behind me. So I said, where are you, Isaac? He said, I'm in Minnesota. I will be flying to Liberia. I need your assistance. January 13th, okay? These are the messages. I will sit down and get auto drinks and put it up, let people see it. When this brother begged me that he's stranded in Minnesota, and I take my money and give it to him. When I went to Minnesota, we're drinking that soup in Robina home, and I took money. I came outside. He put his hand around me. I took money, I gave it to him. I don't like to do this.
Stanton, I think we all believe you. You don't
Thank
need
you, Remy Gray. I hate when people being ungrateful. If you want to come after my character, and you have tested the salt and the pepper, and you want to come on the spoon talk, come on, man.
You know,
don't disgrace yourself.
I think
guys.
I think
when you come down, go ahead.
Firstly, I don't even know
I will bring on and you can't say.
I don't even know how you took over the moderation today, man. You yourself, you're not balanced.
No, Dr. Richardson told me that you wasn't coming on. That Dr. Richardson, yeah.
No, I agree. But then when you came, she was up. I turned my gavel over to her, but then you came and
no, she said it's not good to tell it to her. And I go what comments guy number 2. You want to play your tabata
They
here?
were Guyuki all the day. I agree. That gave me 1 hour 30 minutes. 1 minute
I
30
doesn't
seconds.
want to have any civil conversation. You come here, you start insulting.
My man.
The man insulted the understand. No.
Let me
Yeah,
tell
see
you
how
something.
corruption can style. You see, funny guy, how corruption can style. You come and kind of lie my name.
Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something. Hello, my dear brother. I have been trying to reach you. My name is Acid Jackson.
Hey, my brother.
Okay? No. We gotta do this.
Yeah,
We gotta do this.
that
No, I will not do this.
Anton,
No,
I
will not do this.
You are a
Okay?
leader, my man. You are a leader. Just forget about it. This is happening.
I get
These are the change agent, right? That's exposing. These are the change agent.
Look how you cannot stand that I do that. Look how you.
It's not necessary.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I get Eremigre. I respect you, and you know that you
everybody know you. You are free spirit guy. You are free spirit guy. You are free handed.
When a good man, and I'll consider him as a good man because I like Acid Jackson. Seriously, I do. I like Acid Jackson. We can laugh and joke, but when you come to me and you beg for money. And my money for my family, I squeeze it and I give it to you. You will sit down on the show and tell me, say, I steal. That is stealing money I gave you. How dare you? That how you went beyond Mr. Cummings and they drop you. Because you know why? They didn't trust you. Because you know why? They didn't trust you. So let's have a good show. And I will display all these text messages tonight. Even the cash app amount.
Put the cash out there.
Councilor Lame Bako. I mean, come in, let's talk about the people nomination today, my man. Leader Acid Jackson, man, alone.
So, I mean, the thing about, for me, I don't think they, just as you started the program about who was selected as running mate, I mean, everybody's expected to have a running mate. Whether there's one party or another party, it's not any party's business, as I said before. It's not the LPP's business. Whether Mr. Cummings chose a vice presidential candidate and what she brings to the table, it's not the LPP's business. It's not the UP business. It's not the CDC's business. So for us to come and waste our time discussing whether this is a good choice or not, whether the president speaks the local language and stuff like that, that's a total waste of time. And I would like to just take a few seconds to discuss something that Fadiga raised. Tribalism led to the death of thousands of people in the country. Thousands of people in the country. For us to continue playing that tribal card in this day and age, to talk about somebody that doesn't understand tribal issues and all that kind of stuff, it's unsavory. It's absolutely an unsavory discussion that we should not be involved with. Let's say what the person brings to the table policy-wise, honesty-wise, let's say those things. And forget about whether the person can speak Basa or whether they can speak Kran or Va or whatever. It's irrelevant. How does somebody speaking Basa help to put food on the table of another person or help to bring about poverty reduction in this country?
I can tell you that. I will tell you that.
No, let you finish, Fadiga. Let you finish.
How does that help? How does that help? You know, so they get away from these things. You know, and some of the reason why for me, when somebody asks me which tribe we are, I don't answer that question. I don't. Because which tribe I am is none of your business. It's my personal issue. You know, my family and whoever, you know, I can relate to on the tribal issue, I should relate to them. But when it comes to this country, it should be whether I'm a Liberian or not. That what should matter. Not which tribe I speak or what kind of culture I adhere to. And like Dr. Richardson said, this country is now a monolithic society. It's not a monolithic society. It's a heterogeneous society. We all from different groups. We all speak different languages. We all have some semblance of similarities in our cultures, but depending on which part of the country you're from, the cultures may be different. From the historical context, even a country should not even be in one country. It should have been several different countries. So if we are all in one part right now, we got to live in our part and try to see how we can live with each other and forget about all these petty tribal things. We kind of move away from it. A lot of people die because of that thing for us to keep holding on to it. Let's elevate the discussion. Let's talk about, what are the policies and the ideologies of Miss Brumskine. Let's talk about that. I'll be glad to participate in that discussion. Is she a free market person? Is she a communist? Is she a socialist? Is she somebody who has an anti-corruption zeal in the fibers of a boom? Let's talk about things like that. What kind of economic policy that she will espouse? Is she somebody who will be able to preside over the Liberian Senate and ensure that the senators do not continue business as usual, like it's been over the past nearly 18 years now? No, let's talk about those things. Let's talk about those things. Let's talk about the policies. Let's forget about these petty personal squabbles. And then let's take the discussion away from the pedestrian nature of it. Let's talk about the real things. Senator, let's go to that level.
Tento, I gotta run. I know it's Remy time.
No, I beg you. You gotta take your pen and paper because Remy got to talk. But let me say this to you. I will agree with Councilor Lamy on this one. I beg you, has said you're coming. Hey, my brother, Fadika.
No, come in.
You myself will talk 2 hours every evening. But I beg people, let me tell the secret now. I will agree with Councilor Lamy on this one, though. Seriously.
My man, how you gotta wait, man? Let your friend.
I don't know why.
Somebody waiting for me. My man, then leave the show. Go.
I don't know why. I don't know why we'll be jumping on this thing, but she can't speak Bassa. She can't speak Crew. She can't speak Petty. Maybe if that's your own politics, that's fine. But Daniel Sano, I want us to talk about the substance. That's what I'm interested in. The policy issue that you were raising, Daniel Sano. So let me, I agree with you. Let's go to Remy Gray, then we'll come to Fadika.
Gentlemen and lady, I think one of the most intriguing things that appealed to me when I got to this country was when they set up their national team to go play. I think it was the Olympics or something, some international tournament that the United States was participating. And I look at the national team. I don't think a Caucasian was on that team. I saw the face of a Chinese, Korean, mixed cultural people, and all of these people were so dedicated to their country, meaning the United States. They never saw themselves as people originating from different parts of the world, of the globe, and that is the bedrock of American success. They have been able to pull away from this linguistic, tribalistic way of doing things, and they see all Americans as one. They will slip from time to time. Take for instance when 9/11 came, there was some targeted situation, but even at that, they managed that situation well. They believe that certain people will side with their ethnic origin or so on. But and another time was probably the Japanese, this Second World War, when they threw the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But for the most part, this country, you and I know, if we set foot here, we work hard, we can be the next millionaire on Forbes magazine, regardless of where you come from. And I think that is what Liberia should be looking forward to. Whether or not someone speaks their vernacular is a plus for them when they're interacting with their locals. But if you're a national leader, um, then what language do we speak? We speak English language. So I totally agree with those who say we should elevate the discussion. And I'm pretty sure this discussion is elevated. You, Stanton, as echo that. But when it comes to Charlene, I think what Charlene represents is a repatriation from the old practice where people see certain, hair strand, the color of the hair strand, certain age people to be the only one that has, that with this ability to lead. Liberians, I think when somebody is 48, oh, you're too young. When you get up to 60, oh, you're too old. When you're 50, so it's never okay for somebody within their generation to lead in their lifetime. And this is what drives me away from the national debate. We are so used to seeing certain age group of people leading to, even when they're in retirement, we're forcing them out of retirement to bring them to come perform a Herculean task for younger people. But what does Charlene bring to this table? You understand? Represent hope for my daughters. I got two of them. They look forward to her, and she appeals to that base, first time voters, people who would say, oh, well, if Charlene is there. You remember when Obama won, and people say, what does Obama represent for certain race? And people say, well, now I can nurture my daughter to say, well, regardless of the color of your skin, you would be. And then today we have Kamala Harris. That is the kind of politics I look forward to. I think Liberia is a melting pot to some extent. We all know we came there not by accident, but situation brought us there. The different empires that broke down, that found their way into Liberia. This was a safe haven, and I think it remains the safe haven within the region. That is why we are all different from the rest of Africa. We are so different to the extent our African counterparts don't even understand sometimes the way we preach our politics. They say at one time you want to be on the side of America, another time you're on the side of Africa. This is what makes us unique. To begin to talk about tribal lineage at this day and age, sometimes it's disgusting in my opinion. But I think Charlene is a breath of fresh air. I look forward to her, and she's very articulate, and man, that's what I want to see in my daughter. That kind of person, I'm telling you.
Thank you, Reverend Gray. Listen, guys, and thank God we're having this wonderful program. Let's give Fadiga the chance. He must respond. He must respond. I like the way you carry on, Charlene. Go ahead, Fadiga.
I'll be quick because I gotta go. I got some media, but I would just want to square. I like the beautiful tilt that Conor Gray is portraying of America. Like we don't live in the same country. We live in this country that Black and brown people are still being executed in the streets. And my Caucasian friend would tell me, do not have that conversation. What if they have complied? Why if they just agree with the police? We have had people that do not even want to entertain the conversation around racism. That is what perpetrators do. They do not even want to have the conversation. But me talking about stating the obvious doesn't mean that I have been called Madigo dog. Nobody we saw Cabinet General removed because he was Madigo man. Nobody even talked about him because he was a Mandingo man. We have tribes that are still being marginalized. And what some of you do that talking about the tribalism, none of you say nothing. No. I hate the hypocrisy. Let us get serious. But me saying it doesn't mean I've been victimized in Liberia several times. For my skin take, I can live with it. But what about those people that do not have this platform, that cannot speak for themselves? There's a reason why we say one group of people shouldn't come from one place. Look at this government. Look at this government. George Weah came as a soccer icon that's supposed to unite the country. 6 years later, look at the news in power. The Supreme Court have been sub-Easternized. Everywhere a unite tape or one or nine, they submit. How they get there? It shows it speaks to the tribal nature of our body politics. All those countries, America don't have tribes. They got people from different regions. But the reason why people take this thing into consideration is because you want everybody to be equally represented. That is what brings conflict when there is disparity in the dispensation of justice and resources. That is what brings problem on Lamin Pabo and Edmund Gray. Because I say, they don't have an inclusive government. They don't have a government that just look this way. No. I'm just preventing the obvious. Because
but you're saying that she's not speaking Basso. She's not speaking Mandingo. She's not speaking Crow. It means that she's different.
I'm saying it because I'm not saying she's different. I'm saying it just as a political pundit that if I was advising her campaign, I would say do this because it makes you more appealing to the people. The people won't vote for you if they cannot relate to you. Our politics have not been elevated to that point of America where people can vote on the issues yet. People are still voting on trust. And how do they trust people? They trust you based on where you came from. We have a man that came from, look, the man came from the Southeastern. How many people from the Southeastern in Liberia, you know? How many Southeasterners? These are one of the least populated areas, but they are giving power. Look in the government. We had the same thing with the Salvador regime. People don't want to talk about it, but when it becomes problem, they don't want to talk about it. There's a reason why we must have a government that is representative of
I know you got it wrong. So what you saying? The Charlene Brumskine told Mr. Comey, is this a good decision by
it is a bad decision. The man is socially insensitive and ignorant. Anybody, that's why I don't even consider him a real politician. Because a real politician would take all those things into consideration before something. Charlene Brumskine was not her first, second, third, or fourth choice. She was his hill. She is.
I mean, cancel your appointment, but you cannot leave her with the wolves. But don't do that to her. What's in the agreement today?
Let me just correct something that Fadiga said. Let me just correct something that Fadiga said. Before you run,
let me just cancel 1 minute. Let me just get this all of the way because I want to show fat over here. This is the Spoon Talk. Going back to this Asa Jackson issue, and I want you to see it, my brother Fadika. I know Remy said I'm a Lego, but Remy, sometimes it's good for us to just say it. I won't let the people say, Fadika, please hold on. This is Asa Jackson. Just arrived in the USA. I'm in Minnesota along with my family. We are a family of 5, and so I would sincerely appreciate any assistance in at helping us. Okay, that's Asa Jackson. The next time he reached out to me and said, I said, how you doing? He said, not too bad, brother. God has been good to us. I just arrived in your town and looking forward for a professional hookup, brother, USA or Liberia. I asked him, just arrived in USA. I'm in Minnesota along with my family. And I just read that we are a family of 5, and so I would sincerely appreciate any assistance in at helping us to start in the USA. That's Asa Jackson. These people go up and say nonsense about me. They go out and run the mouth, and they come. I fed them. I clothed them. I took care of them. But these are the same very hypocrite people there saying the nonsense they used to also say. They have eaten the salt. They have eaten the pepper, Daniel Sano, and they are here saying BS about me. Now, I will read them all. And it's important to do that. I don't like to do this, but I'll do this. And I asked him, do you have Cash App? Let me pull that one up first before, okay. That's what he said. I said, do you have Cash App? Need to send you something. Daniel Sano, you saying it? He said, yes.
I'm seeing it.
My host has a Cash App, and I would definitely get it through to you. I love to be quiet because I don't like to talk about people, bro. I've gone above and beyond. But when being a hypocrite, we gotta show them out. He said, my host has a Cash App, and I would definitely send it to you. That's what he said. He said, thanks in advance, my dear brother, Sisi Goya. Is this the name? He said, yes, sir. What you see under there, that 1,500 to Sisi Goya? Eh? Yes, the whole thing, yeah? The money that I sent to Sisi Goya. Okay? Right there. It. And what did he say? Brother, I remain eternally grateful. Thank you so very much. I sent this hypocrite, the loud mouth of a lawyer, who I still consider as my friend today. He's still my friend. I would never, and after the show, I will call him. I saying 1,005. This is Cash App. The records are there. Sisi Goya, payment. Go at Goya, you know anything. August 9, 2021 at 5:07 p.m. The brother didn't stay there. He didn't stay there. He continued to ask me for money. It was Ben Senvi, Tumani George, Dr. Peabody, every one of us who went to Minnesota. Well, at Robina House, you always hear me talking about this wonderful dry pepper soup when I'm laughing at Robina. I went ahead, the brother said, I heard that you're in town. When we went for Russell, Mayor, something. We went around, I told him, I said, yes, we are Robina Place. The brother came there, he hugged me. He hugged me. He said, hey, Stanton, it's good to see you. He said, my man, it's not easy. It was 10 p.m. 10 p.m. I said, Jackson said, it's not easy. We ate. I drank the pepper soup. He ate and swallowed fufu. These guys were talking. I came outside with Ashley Jackson under my arm. I walk into the car. I don't want to say. I take $1,000, and I give it to him. You can ask the 200 George if he didn't go to Robina place. Call Robina and ask Robina. Call Ben Sevi and ask him. Not because they are not on the show. I don't want to do this. But when he come on the show, and because of what we heard, and I asked him, he must attack me? Should I reveal the other messages? The other messages he said about this coming, he's supporting now. What he told me, I will find it, I will show it. The bad thing he said about comings, must I reveal it in my text messages? These people shouldn't play. We ain't stupid. And he turned around and said, I'm going to Liberia, my man, help me. I'm going to hustle. The people then, they can't give you anything except you go there and show face. The brother, he stuck with me. He stuck with me. I told him, I said, brother, I'm in Florida. He said, my man, you got to help me. But that today, I don't want to be that constant and say, man can talk all. I will talk all because you know why? Enough is enough. When those guys then go and say the foolishness, we should correct them. Because God in heaven watches us all. He ate the salt, he ate the pepper, he should shut up. And that's why I like to leave it. I'm sorry for taking the show away, but we have to say these things because of hypocrites like them. When they back you in the corner, when you take care of them, they're out there, they have time to say nonsense. Don't bring it on the show. Facebook is free. Go on your Facebook and say what you want to say. Daniel Sando, please go ahead before we go to Dr. Richardson. Daniel Sando, you can speak, sir.
Yes. So I just wanted to clarify something. I keep hearing Councilor Lamik Babo and Conor Gray talking about people being trouble. It was Asa Jackson, unfortunately, it was Asa Jackson who accused Joseph Boaga of being a tribalist. All this while. Basically, what we were saying, we're just giving an assessment of the Cummings Brumskine ticket. Nobody accused them of being trouble. It was Asa Jackson in his regular tune of being very aggressive, who said that Joseph Boaga had been a trouble person and this and that. And, you know. And again, what I would like to further emphasize is the fact that Liberia is a nation state. And anybody who understands what a nation state is will not try to shy away from the tribal component of our body politics. I campaign for Charles Brumskine. There's the reason why we had the Bassa elders to tutor Brumskine how to speak Bassa. And thank God, Conor Gray admitted that it's a plus for any politician who can speak a native language. You know, so if I were asked to assess a ticket, and I indicated the issue of the inability of the component of the ticket not speaking the native language is not being trouble. We have a whole system right now. And sometimes it's good for some of our friends in the diaspora to take the TRC recommendations, the recommendation of the TRC, to read it. When you read a TRC recommendation, it outlines the antecedent to the historical crisis in Liberia. It's not just about war crime court. They give an antecedent to the Liberian crisis. And when you understand and have a fair appreciation of the antecedent to the Liberian crisis, you're not ignore the tribal content of our body politics. So let us not make it to appear that anybody here is being trouble. No, that's not true. Okay. To move forward, I would just want to say that the reason why we wish the Cummings Brumskine ticket well is because we do not want to be very antagonistic. Because like I indicated, we are going to need the support of Mr. Cummings and Ms. Brumskine in the second round of the election. We are in the opposition and we have something in common. And that common goal is to have George Weah defeated, if not on the first ballot, in the second round of the election. So we need everybody. So for those who are out there attacking, you got to seize the attack. Let us wish the Cummings Brumskine ticket well as we go into the election. Again, I maintain that what they did in Bassa today is no show of strength. Because I do believe that even though this election is a presidential campaign and everybody going to be vote. Everybody across the country will be allowed to vote for the president and vice president. But when you are going into a vote-rich county to campaign, you need to show strength by mobilizing from the ground. That's how you know you got the support of the people. By renting buses, importing people in Bassa to create an impression that the Bassa people are supporting Cummings Brumskine ticket, I think is a strategy that was not well thought through. I know they had almost 2 weeks to do the mobilization. They were going Bassa. Bassa has, close to 200,000 registered voters. Intensive mobilization on the ground for a ticket that's supposed to be people-centered should not be difficult for you. We saw when Joseph Boga was Nimi's running mate. There was no bus arranged. Buses were never arranged for people. People troop in on Broad Street. Okay? That's how you know the ticket is winning. But when you go to give people T-shirt, rent buses, and take them to the place, it's a strategy that's not proving well for several politicians in the country who know how Kennedy Sandy ended up, who know how Vanny Sherman ended up, and who know how Mr. Cummings himself ended up in 2017. But again, this too is Liberia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. You want to add?
There's a few things that I have on my mind right now. And it is about how we describe people that we don't share the same political affiliation with. When someone come here and describe Mr. Cummings or Charlene Brumskine or any other politician for that matter as insignificant or whatever name you want to give them, that is unnecessary and inappropriate. You have not walked the life of Mr. Cummings nor Charlene Brumskine. You have not even walked my life. So I think it's important for us to stick to the issues, what they bring to the table, or if you're going to talk about diversity in our country, we do that. But we don't inflame the sensitivity of diversity issues in our country. We don't do that. There's a way, and there's people who are trained in this area. They are expert in working with culture that have diversity issues. First of all, you have to respect other people's view. Secondly, you have to acknowledge, which I believe Charlene and Mr. Cummings, and most people acknowledge. We acknowledge the past of Liberia. Everybody know our history. Like you just said, Sanu, all you have to do is read the TRC report. It's not hidden that Liberia was founded in 1847 by slaves. But when we talk about it and say that as if Liberia is a monolithic country, that all of us are supposed to be one group of people, this is what is surprising and inappropriate and not helpful. And when we come here and talk about other people, I hear you, Daniel, mentioning Musa did this, Musa did that. Please, it's okay to do that, but bring receipts so all of us can see it. When the day you bring receipt on the show and say that Mr. I find it offensive that you're laughing at something I'm speaking about. Thank you. When you come on the show, thank you. Okay, let's bring receipt. If that's the case, then we all can join you, Sanu, and say, yes, Musability is this and that. Secondly, the last time I checked, all the people in the legislature, I won't say all, I'll be generalizing. Let me be fair. Most of the people in the legislature, y'all will not say that they come from the Congo background. Y'all will say that they come from the tribal background. For some of you making this argument, as if to say that solving diversity issue is an easy thing. The people who are in the legislature right now, they are not the Johnsons, the Dennises. They are the Weah. They are the Coons. They are the other thing, this and that. But you see where our country is right now? It is still where it is right now. So no matter what your name is, what you come from, if you don't have the right mindset to change our country, to bring in ideas and to fight for healthcare, it doesn't matter where you come from in Liberia. You can be a Weah or you can be a Dennis. If you don't put Liberia at the core of your discussion or the core of wanting to change, Liberia will remain the same. And all of those listening to me, it is about the mindset, okay? It is about the mindset, our willingness to change our country. And that's where we have to be right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. We appreciate you. Before we go to Remy, let me bring in Councilor. Councilor, I want to switch this thing. It's important. Now, Mr. Cummings have his fixer too. Let's put some seriousness in this. And Charlene Brumskine from Grand Bassa, her father worked all his life, councilor, senator, everything. You can go back into his history, right? Led Liberty Party. But her father brought Yombly. I observed something today. Please correct me because you know this better than I do. I observe now the Brumskine and the family, Western got family, that family, they are now on the other side of the river supporting Mr. Cummings. Where you have the Kanga supporting Jose Yimabwaka and the rest of the Basel people just thinking where they're going to find themselves. Talk to me with that demographic. I want you to speak to it, please.
I think that was one of the most significant things that happened today, because you know that Finlay was a rival to Councillor Brumskine, so to see he and Brumskine's progeny come together in order to fight a political cause, I think that was one of the things that should have been on headline maker today, as opposed to the tribal issue, whether the lady speaks Bassa or not. You know, I mean, for those of us who worked with Councillor Brumskine during his life, especially in his first political run, not the first political run, because the first one was when he was in the MPP, during his first presidential run. I mean, we know that there was this kind of rivalry there with Finlay. Finlay was trying to project himself as the actual leader of the Basel people, you know, trying to encroach on Brumskine's turf. So it's kind of interesting to see that there is a kind of many offenses there. Now, I don't know how far that's going to go, but that's one of the important things I think that came out of that arrangement today. And I wanted to say something to Fadiga before he left on the issue of inclusion. You know, he tried to say that tribalism was a way of people doing inclusion. That's not true. Under our laws, the executive law, I think it's section 10 point something of the executive law, it requires inclusion in government. None of our governments have been able to live up to that particular law. You know, the statute says every county should be represented in the cabinet. If you look at Mr. Weir's cabinet, I mean, obviously all the counties are not represented. Or when Mr. Weir dismisses somebody from one county, he replaces the person with somebody from the same county, as if to say it's a kind of quid pro quo tribal government that he's running. When you remove someone from the Supreme Court who's a Mandingo man, you put another Mandingo man in his place. If you remove someone from the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication who's from Nima County, you replace him by someone else from another person from Nima County. If a Supreme Court justice from Nima County retires, you replace him with. I mean, we have to go away from it. There's some of the problems with the tribal politicking that should not happen in our country. Everybody who's qualified for the job should get a job. And that's the reason why Councillor Gongo has said in his Better Liberia agenda, I should say in our Better Liberia agenda, the executive law, when it comes to the issue of cabinet appointments, will be followed to the letter. There will be no county left behind to say, okay, Councillor Gongo is from Nima County, so all the people in the government should be from Nima County. I mean, I'll be one of the first people to kick against it. I'll be one of the first people to resign from that group and start criticizing it. He says half of all appointed positions will go to women. I mean, that's necessary also, because we need to make sure that there's affirmative action for our female folk. We got to start discussing these things. That what really matters. What matters for this country is how we can situate ourselves. Those of us who find ourselves in the opposition, how we can situate ourselves contrary to what the CDC people are, that what we should be talking about. And we should stop this fear mongering. And like Isaac said, Isaac is very right. It's a presidential election. It has nothing to do with somebody wasting their vote. If it was senatorial election or House of Representative election, you can say somebody will waste their vote, because those elections, unfortunately, they changed the law to say that the first past the post wins. So in a kind of election with plenty of people, with numerous candidates in the race, you got to be careful how you vote. But in a presidential election, you vote for your first choice candidates first. That's what you do. You vote for the people who you think can do the best. And when there are two people remaining standing, then you decide to vote for the person who you think is better than the other person. And that's when the issue of actual negotiation and coalitions are built when you get to the runoff. If you do the coalition thing now before you get to the runoff, you're in trouble. Because that person will think that they already finished getting all the votes, so there's no need for them to do anything to make sure that they get. And that's the mistake you guys are
you're
making.
correct, but I want to bring you back to this because I got to bring Remy Gray, Daniel Sano, and with Dr. Richardson. Then we go to the phone line. Don't forget, Abraham Daruzidon probably going to appear on Monday. Probably Abraham Daruzidon for a very long time. He'll be appearing on the Spoon Talk to speak on this national issue. We'll be bringing in by God's grace Rescue One, who is Jose Yima Boaka. We are working the modalities to bring him on Spoon Talk. We'll also be bringing senators like Yombli Kanga Lawrence is going to be. Now, I'm so grateful, folks. Listen, do not be distracted. We will shift this thing to policy. We'll shift this into the issue, the bread and butter issue of the Liberian people. We need to. It's not about what I did for you, what you did for me. Don't, call me names. But let's go back as to how we can educate the minds of the Liberian people. And this is what we're about to do. So, Remy Gray, let me ask you, the family, Western God family, Charlene Walker Brumskine, Charles Walker Brumskine, daughter. I want you to understand now, they are going against the Yombli Kanga Lawrence. They are going against the Jonathan Kape. They are going against who's that representative Charlene supposed to be running against Daniel Sanders? What's his name? From District Number 3.
Matthew Joe.
They are going against Matthew Joe. They are going against Hans Bashu, the battle in the cloud. Grand Basher, talk to me. Where you think Kwame is going to fit at? What's his benefit?
My brother, I don't think we need to be fighting or, propagating the wars of our ancestors and our fathers. We all as a generation, we have this kind of responsibility of fighting our own battle. But to go back in infamy in terms of generation and begin to prosecute our father's war, sort of hold us back in reverse or in the past. And I don't think Mr. Finley or Miss Brumskine or Councillor Brumskine has this responsibility of disagreeing with the Congress because her father did. And this is where modernization is very important. Civility as our country evolved should be the hallmark. I heard my brother Al Hussein Fadiga was talking about him being discriminated upon, and that a certain region of our country bears the focus for for sharing the bounty that exists in this government. But then in the same sentence, he's saying that Charlene should speak her dialect. What that suggests to me is that he's facilitating his window flaming and the very idea of tribalism. That if you don't speak your language, it means you're less of a nationalist. And it's that argument that I want to distance myself from, because I know exactly what I did to some of us after being trained for so long as a military person. Then when warfare hit the land, I'm denied the ability to do my job because of the tribe, the dame that I was from. Um, I suffered from that kind of way of looking at someone's national, responsibility and their civic duty. When I go up in my little village up there, the people know I can understand the language when they speak it to me. But then I'm also a multifaceted person. I belong to so many communities. When I go down in West Point, I don't go there because I'm a man. I go there because I also live in the city. And so everywhere you find yourself, you must be able to assimilate and adapt. I think this is what this ticket represents. They are not going to be the one-dimensional individual who just see themselves from the prism of their tribe, or from that's we call that fallopian thinking. In other words, it's so narrow to the extent where you don't see anything but within the context of your own tribe. And unless we
But though, I wasn't talking about tribe though. You know, but let me just, I beg you, I know you have your 30 seconds, but I just want to take you back as to my question, except when you saying something different, because I think that Richardson, Daniel Sano understood me, Councilor Lamy spoke on my question. You have three big names in Grand Bassa, or maybe more than three. During election times, people, am I right, Councilor Lamy? Because you've been in Liberian politics too long, Councilor, maybe you know that. We have the Kanga. The old man been there for decades. The family. You have the Brumskine. I'm asking you, the hands Bashu, and you know Jonathan Kape came on the stage. He's not a senator. Having Besonga and Charlene on your side, do you think Mr. Coleman stand a chance in Grand Bassa? That was my question, sir.
All right, my brother. I think with the invection of a daughter of Grand Bassa, that protects Mr. Cummins' interest more than the guy from the south side, which is you know, and you have a daughter of a daughter from Grand Bassa supporting somebody else from elsewhere. If we're going to say this is a tribal country, come on, man. If a Bassa man was in the race, running for the presidency, do you think the son from Lofa will leave their daughter in a race and go support the Bassa man? Think about it. That's the kind of country we have. If you are telling me that because Yumli chooses to go someplace else, the rest of the Bassa people will follow like dog when they have their own in the race, I find that very difficult. Then, in fact, it sounds contradictory, given the fact that where we see our own is where we go. It's natural. You know, when I'm hiring, if 5 people came in front of me and then X amount was, even if one was that looks like me, sometimes I have this bias consciousness to be able to you know, to bend the rules somehow. But that is what we say. So if those 2 people who are supporting Cummins, there are so many other individuals that are supporting him. And I can tell you, at that gathering today, I saw Abakanga. I saw almost all the
You saw
traditions.
who? Who did you see?
The old man, Dr.
You
Kanga.
saw the old man there?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 minute now. Okay, finish up. We got now we're gonna open the phone. I'm gonna call Yomde. I said my father was present.
I saw the old man there.
The old man was at the program.
Well, that is what a leader should do.
No, I'm just asking you. Was he at the program?
Yeah, it was there. I saw him there.
Okay.
I saw him there. Because you know what? This is what a traditional leader would do. Because you know what? He's not leader only for his tribe or for his clan. He's leader for the county. When
I think that statement needs to be corrected.
No, Daniel, you will not interrupt the brother. We're coming to you after him. Why can't you just be patient, bro? We're coming to you. Go ahead, Mr.
When
Gray.
a big moment like this is gripping, historical moment is gripping, where a daughter of Grand Bassa is being placed on a major political party. Definitely, if leaders are not there, even if they don't support the side, you know, and Sandra was talking about trucking people. Man, this was Morovia. Why are you going to truck people from where? From Nimba to bring them to Morovia? Fine. But this is Bassa, where people want to go see the occasion too, and they don't have the means. That's the country we have. But does that mean locals were not there?
I didn't know that you were that smart. You make a very good point. Y'all help them with transportation, right? But you're getting trucked there. I'm gonna let go. That is Sano. They may make a very good closing point. You guys help the people with transportation, but they didn't truck them. That is Sano. Come on, Daniel, talk to us, man. Can you clarify? Was Omen Kanga part of the program today?
But you see, everything that is built on lies and deception will eventually be exposed. Prior to this program, because the ANC really got human problems. So what they did was to go in the villages around Bikana, telling the people, oh, Nyombi Kanga sent for you. Oh. And yes, they did that. Nyombi Kanga say, the first thing, Baron Brown, Gabriel Smith, and Louis Browning took a gateway McIntyre were doing this. They went to the churches and said, Nyombi said she was supporting Braga, but she had withdrawn her support from Braga. She now supporting Cummins. So we're having the big program on the 27th. She want all of you to come there. So one of the ladies said, but nobody has a way of communicating with us. We don't see none of the coordinators here from Liberty Party, and all we see are different people, right? So, but that is water on the bridge. It was exposed on the radio, and our people were told. That's why they had to even chuck people from Morovia and Margibi, because Basso actually turned them down. So that whole trucking team was meant to save face. But this is politics. I mean, if you can build a delusional perception, that's good for you. But the next thing I want to say here is that Spoon is a widely monitored platform, if not the biggest in the country. For him to even sit here and say that the Reverend Dr. Abakanga Senior was in attendance today, it's a despicable lie. It's a despicable lie. Okay? So, I saw them posting it on Facebook. I thought it would have just let it on Facebook and be left alone. But for him to bring it here to say that Kanga was on that program today doing what there?
So he wasn't there at all?
He wasn't there. Let me say this.
No, Daniel. You have the Omen number. Can we ask the Omen? Can we call him? No, Daniel, it's just 10:24. The Omen is up. It's very important, though, because you're right. I'm looking on Facebook right now. It's on Facebook. And Eremi Gray, I get a high respect for Eremi, and I like Eremi, to be frank. So for him to say the Omen was there, we got to clarify, though. I beg you to talk to your people if you can.
So let me make a connection why I conclude my thought, right?
Yes, sir.
Our friends from the ANC who are in the diaspora, they don't really know what is happening on the ground. Why did nobody even turn down the request from Mr. Cummings to go as running mate to him? Nobody is a big sister for Charlene Brumskine in the Basso politics. Do you know the decision that Charlene made? Do you know how it is being interpreted to the Basso people? That Charlene Brumskine, the daughter of Councillor Brumskine, has now gone to connive with the people who are fighting the legitimate political leader that Brumskine left in charge because she wanted to take the party for Nyombli. So, you in the state, you don't see it from that perspective. You don't care for the perception of the people here. You want us to play politics to your own understanding, but it's just good that you be respectful to the people and considerate to the perception here. Because Nyombli is a big state of the Charlene. When Councillor Brumskine was dying, Charlene Brumskine was alive. She was a lawyer. He saw her and saw Nyombli and handpicked Nyombli and said, "You are the political leader of Liberty Party." Charlene Brumskine, I will turn over the law firm to you. How can now Charlene Brumskine has abandoned the law firm and come to want to take the party from Nyombli Kanga Lawrence? That is a debate among the Basso people right now. That Charlene Brumskine is disrespecting. She's siding with Musa Berete, Mr. Arizona Cummings to undermine Nyombli Kanga Lawrence. So that acceptance of the nomination, it is a dent on her political reputation that she has to answer for the rest of her life. But that is never her. Okay, so it is not an easy thing to say, oh, she's a daughter of Basso. Daughter of Basso, under what circumstance are you accepting the nomination? Of course, it is a political right. But anybody would have thought that being the daughter of Councillor Brumskine, Basonga Fine, who founded the movement against the Brumskine presidency, my good friend Asa Jackson, who on the radio that Brumskine is not Brumskine, he's brown skin. He's a bald-headed Congo man. These are the people who come to us and say, Cummings is the better person. Okay? So, Basonga Fine of all people, Liberty policies across the Basso Belt have fundamental problem with Basonga Fine because all of the people, like Brimpo said, was supporting Brumskine presidency. It was Basonga Fine who said, if anybody will become president of Basso, it has to be him. And that he funded a movement, not just in Basso, but he dispersed them across the 15 countries of this country. And everywhere we went to campaign for Brumskine, they were there saying, we are Basso people. We people tell you, say, the Basso man is not worth to be president of Liberia. This is a man with whom the daughter of Councillor Brumskine has gone to form an unholy political union. How do you also hear how the people are interpreting that against her? So it is no good show. It is no good show for her. She's too young. She's too young. And at some point, I feel for my sister. I didn't want to say this from the beginning of the show, but given the question the CEO asking, I feel for her. Because I really do believe that Musa Berete and Eddie Johnson Sirleaf have gotten Charlie into a big mess. How does she face the embarrassment to reconcile with all of the people that she hurt after the election? Mr. Cummings obviously is going nowhere. We all know that. They want to using her. They want to using Charlene to dip in the fight because Musa Berete admitted that Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence got control over the Bassa belt. He cannot penetrate. On several occasions, he tried to go there to establish an office. He was chased out. The vehicle was seized and everybody, so people begin afraid. So now who are they using? They're using Charlene Brumskine. So on the surface, it appears that, oh, that the daughter of Councilor Brumskine, she's the daughter of Grand Bassa County. Yes, that's for you. That's a narrative for you. But among the Bassa people, you see Charlene Brumskine has been very deceitful to Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence. They see Charlene Brumskine as working with Musa Berete and Cummings, the people who have undermined Nyomdi over the last 2 years. So, CEO, to answer your question, the reason why Charlene Brumskine and Philly have now gone to form a political union, something that is very unthinkable, is obvious. To tear down Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence, render her politically irrelevant. When we had a meeting with Louis Brown the other day, I want to show you, I said it. We had a meeting with Louis Brown, the resident of Senator Lawrence. They told us that they used some people from Bassa to go to Boaca to tell him that if he named Senator Lawrence as a running mate, they were not going to support him. One of those persons was Charlene Brumskine, Basonga Philly. The last visit Ambassador Boaca made to Grand Bassa County, Charlene Brumskine was on the delegation. And Ambassador Boaca was introducing Charlene Brumskine to the congregation. They visited 8 churches. What did he say? This is the daughter of Councilor Brumskine. She's here with me. She has come on board the rescue team so we can win the election. Boom. Boaca didn't name Nyomdi. Where is Charlene Brumskine today? They're going back to Congress. So this is where I tend to pity my sister. She's being used for deceptive and selfish reasons. And she is going to live to face the embarrassment because all of the people that she's down fighting are people who laid the foundational cornerstone for the Brumskine presidency. We labor for it. The Reverend Dr. Abba Kanga, the father of Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence, a 94-year-old man, was considered the political godfather to Councilor Brumskine. Today, Charlene Brumskine side with Philip, who goes on the radio every day and rain insult on such an elderly man. How do you think the Bassa will look at you? So Cummings has zero standing in Bassa.
Thank you. I know. Again, it's a good thing, folks. I will announce to you, like I said, Delon will be coming on the show next week. We are working with editors to bring Rescue One on Spoon Talk. We have a special interview with him next week. If it is okay, we are working on that. But you will have Delon. We will work around Yombly to bring her on the show. Likewise, we'll work around the CPP camp to bring them on the show that we can have a very, very good conversation. We need no distraction. And thanks to Dr. Francine, Councilor Lamy, Remy Gray, Daniel Sando, Mo Ali, Fadika, the rest of the team, Eugene Lamy Fagon, and all those people in and out of the network that we can make this show a great one. Wozy, Leo, and everybody else. Let me also say before we go to Dr. Francine, because she will be taking us home as we go to the phone line. Daniel, please. We need this. We need to hear from the old man. Was he at the program, or maybe his daughter, somebody from the camp? Was he at the program? It's very important.
Let me get somebody on the phone for you.
Yes, thank you. Dr. Richardson, please.
Liberians, some people will come to you and try to put the Pele against the Mano, the Bassa against the Loma, the people in the diaspora against the people in Liberia. Don't buy it, okay? They have nothing to tell you but to divide Liberia. That is the strategy. Let's put fear in Liberian people that we don't support each other. That is the fear. But let's talk about the important things and don't be fearful, Liberians. So, Mr. Cummings has plans for our country. And some of his plans include cutting off the wasteful spending. And a place where we find a lot of wasteful spending would be at the port. He speaks about that a lot. He says, how many times do you have to bribe people? Sometimes you have to pay $10,000 or more to just bring in a container from out of the country. When we cut down on that wasteful spending, we can redirect that money to the necessary things Okay, like maybe improving the school system, some aspect of the school system, improving the hospital. Mr. Cummings wants to be in charge, and Charlene wants to be in charge of the executive branch. He trusts Charlene. Charlene presents the skill where she can negotiate. She's a lawyer, people. She'll be able to negotiate outside of the country, representing Mr. Cummings outside of the country, which we have not seen. We have a system where the president is the King Kong of the country. Mr. Cummings wants to make it a partnership with someone younger like Charlene. Charlene, who can engage and interact with the younger population. She will be his eyes and ears of that younger population and represent him to negotiate both internationally and locally. We see the executive branch. We always say that the executive branch has a lot of power. Liberia is an imperial country. Yes. If that is the case, they're supposed to be executing the law. But we see now in our country, the laws are not executed. We got all the laws in the book, but we have a president right now that does not even execute the law. He does not advocate for funding for the laws to be executed. A case in point would be the drug case that we've been talking about here. If our laws were executed, if we had a president like Mr. Cummings who would execute the law, we wouldn't be talking all the tapata that we've been talking on this show about that drug case. We have a budget that is created by the president. You've seen the budget lately. Money in there for the vice president, money in there for the president's wife, money in there for the pro tem. When you add up all the money, it's not even equal to the money that the hospital receives, the different hospitals in the country receive. And this is why we need a president that will be able to create a budget that is in the best interest of Liberian people. And he needs a second in command, a running mate, who will be able to scout out, to go out and represent him in these different places, different ministries, to check on them, to see the wasteful spending and say, okay, Mr. Cummings cannot be here today because he's maybe working or doing something else. I'm here.
I got one of the comments on the line.
Excuse me, I'm still speaking, please. He is here to represent, I'm here to represent Mr. Cummings at the different ministries, and I will report back to him. They will work as a team, as a partner. Just how we in the diaspora are partnering with you guys in Liberia, we ask you to give this team a chance for a better Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. I had a question, but I will ask you that question when we come back. It's important for us to clarify whether the Ome Kanga, Yombli Kanga father, was at the program today, the CPP program that led Mr. Cummings to bring in his fixer too, whether Yombli Kanga father was at that program. Daniel Sando, please unmute. Talk to us.
Before Daniel comes in, could you have delegated that responsibility to one of our Spoon correspondents? Because Daniel Sando is heavily engaged in slander politics, and it's lip-sided, so to speak.
I do not have
anybody could be on the line. We don't know who's on the line.
Yeah, but again, I think I do not have the Oman contact. The best I can do is to ask Daniel Sando. If you have anybody that have the contact to the old man, then we'll be glad to. But we got to verify this. We got to make sure that it is 100%, because indeed I saw it on Facebook that old man Kanga was at the program. We just need to clear the air. So Daniel, can you help us, please? You are muted, Daniel. You are muted.
I'm trying to get him back. The call ended. Okay, he calling me now. Okay. Hello? Yeah, please introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself. You are live on Spoon.
Oh, this is something from the Canon Grandmaster County.
Call your full name.
Something Mother who lives with Alakanga in the yard and from Odeka Town, the Canon City Grandmaster County.
Did he say that he lived with the old man?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What's his name? Can you let you
Samson Mande.
Samson Mande. Thank you. Thank you.
He asking a question.
So I just Samson, thank you. This is Stanton. We just got to be very clear. Was Ome Kanga at the program today? The CPP program, was he at that program today?
Well, that is the woman he wasn't there today. That is a diabolical lie. And if anybody has said that company is better off the devil. The woman being here all day, being resting. The woman came from a far distance from the Sodom Authority where he went to discuss church matter in Payueta. He just came back tired. Being here all day, and he didn't get out on his post. And I was within 2 hours later on before I even went around the senator residence in Lower Highlands, European River.
Are you currently with the Ome?
I was with him, but he's going to bed.
He's going to bed.
He usually write because he said he's writing his last book, so he usually write in the night. So he will go to rest like 8 o'clock, and he will wake up at 2 o'clock to practice.
Okay. So you are telling everybody, you are telling all Liberians home and abroad that Ome Kanga was never ever at that program today.
Never. I'm telling you, and the water spoon that he was not there to be on that program on the fairground.
Okay, thank you very much, my friend.
Kanga was not there. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Daniel. Eremi, I know you want to say something. I see you moving. Talk to me, Eric.
No, Stanton, at least if the brother can give us the old man's number. But this is nothing to fuss them about. Whether or not the old man was there, the reports that came up was that he was one of the many elders that were there. But we're only saying that this was in unison of what was transpiring historically with the Bassa people, especially in Bassa. And for a community leader such as him, not being there or being there is not the debate. It was in passing that I make that statement because I heard that he was there as well. But my brother, to authenticate whether or not he was there, and I want to believe that anything that pertains to the Bassa people at that level, at that very peculiar level, any leader should be there, irrespective of which side politically you support or the other. That's how I see it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being that objective. I saw you on Facebook to be right, and I thought you
can I say something?
Yeah, Becky, because we got to go to the phone line, Daniel. Go ahead, talk to us.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that the stock part of lies have been told to create a very wrong impression. It's not helping our friends on the ANC. I see even as something called to clarify. Conor Gray is still doubtful and talking about Dr. Kanga was one of the elders that were in attendance. If Dr. Kanga had attended that program, the picture would be all on Facebook. Because what the ANC and Mr. Cummings are seeking desperately is legitimacy. That they finally got the legitimate support of the Bassa elders. So if Dr. Kanga had attended the program today, it would not be a subject of debate. The picture will be all over the place. So it just helps for
the. Have they put any pictures up besides the crowd?
There are pictures circulating all on Facebook.
No, not really.
Let's go to the phone line again. I want to say, you guys, man, I just like the fact that we can have a good show. And this was one of the best so far today, Dr. Richardson. Thank you very much. You did extremely well by moderating the show. I appreciate you. We're going to go to the phone line, and then we're going to do our closing. The program today by CPP, Mr. Cummings, I have chosen Charlene Brumskine. My fellow Liberians, please give us your yes or your no, your support, or if you do not support such a ticket, we're so happy. We want to hear from you. It is important. Now we are moving forward. President George Mano, we have Vice President Joel Howard Taylor, Jose Yemabwaka, Jeremiah Pankun, Mr. Alexander Cummings, and Charlene Brumskine. We are moving. No coming back, no turning back, no retreat, no surrender. Forward ever, backward never. That's what's happening now. Let's go to the phone line. Our first caller from Morovia, Yekeze Zogbe.
Okay, the numbers are 077771075, 077771075, 05551011075. Let's talk to this first person. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you join us from?
My name is Jacob Samuel Swagger, and I call you from Concord County.
Okay, let's hear you.
Okay, I want to appreciate you people so much for taking up your time and nourishing or and always giving all this information about what is happening in our country. Firstly, I just want to say that Mr. Kumi just exposed himself to the back of people that one of the men are standing at the back of Musa Terede that supporting him to fight the Liberty Party that the Green Party that struggle for and make sure that this party will live long and we will be part of it, the youth that coming up. So I just want to say thanks so much to you people for the show.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tommy S. Williams, and I join from Several Street in Single.
Let's hear you.
Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to hear my view on this council. My concern has to do with the program I will hear today in different parts of the country. But I have a question here. I want the CEO is moderator tonight to help me answer this question. The question is, how can Musa Bebe convince Charlene Brumskine to go as far running it instead of him, contesting? If there's anything that ban him from contesting as a far running it to Kumi, because what I said is that he is contesting as a representative in my country, and at the same time, Mr. Charlene was also having the same ambition in each other. Why he didn't leave his ambition to contest as a representative and then go on Kumi as far running it? Instead, he never did that. He convinced Brumskine to go as far running. Why you so?
Okay, your question is well understood. Let's talk to another person. Good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you join us from?
My name is Albert C. Clark, calling from my Asia community resident. And let me say thank you to the panelists on the show tonight. Let me first of all say thank you to the CPP for going to Basel, coming back from Basel, looking our sister Charlene Brumskine. And that's a good thing. And everybody needs to try their strength. Charlene as a female, whatever may happen, you can see sister Youngly and every other thing. I think she's going to try her strength. So her strength will prove her right or wrong, will level her. But I think we give her the chance to prove herself as to whether she has been true or not. So certain people, you don't deny them from what they want to do.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello?
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, my name is Cecily Joseph Jr. I'm calling from Congo Town, across Ireland.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, first of all, let me say to the CEO, what I was said to you, don't matter others, other councillors who come forward and laugh against each other of feeling, but those are people who are the hypocrite people. The issue, that's the major thing, always not listen to what the other than my mother or other family and other things. But why she is preaching about terrorism issues? You don't know this is Liberia. You don't compare Liberia and America. This is not controversial. So you don't compare Liberia and America. So she said something about Charlene Brumskine, talking about Charlene Brumskine, but we talk discussing about terrorism and other things. That's what he got to bring on the table. So can you tell me, please, what did Charlene Brumskine have to bring to Liberia?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person here. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm okay. Your name and where you join us from?
My name is Okaya Brumskine, calling from 77.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to say thank you and congratulations. But the past president looks very weak. And now in my program today, my incoming past president will be my platform as a other take care about you today. And they were very grateful also. So I want to say thank you to them.
Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Good evening.
Good evening.
Anima, where you join us from?
Josiah from around the Commodore Peter Island.
Josiah, let's hear
you. You know, it just let me say thank God first of all. I wish the ANC well. I am from the Unity Party. I wish the ANC well. You know, for me, in fact, the battle had just begun. At least everyone know they are running it. The entire country will decide on authority. So I don't want someone to say, oh, like, spiritual and this and that. Let me tell you that already thing. Liberia is respected, traditional, and Catholic. No, we are in Liberia. Someone are going the right area. People will get to our villages and things. So as our mother and sister there, we speak our fellow vernacular as from the fellow background. No, let me tell you that the reason you came from Kmart. If you go say why you speaking English, someone came from the village and speaking your name equal. No, let me tell you, the poor grandmother was speaking bad, then you not speaking your series. So just leave that thing.
Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Thank you very much. I'm Joseph Morba calling from Nikuta.
Joseph, let's hear you.
Yeah, you know, Brumskine has just embarrassed himself. Not Brumskine, Cummings. He will be selling himself, selling the running mate to us. Because nobody knows the woman. Especially when you go in the North King area. Don't about Cape Mount, Bombing, Bapu, or Lufa County, or Central Liberia. He will be embarrassing himself. He will be selling himself, selling Charlene Brumskine. Besides that, Musa Belete is not a serious man that can be in any organization people join him. Nothing. We know that he's an autopod planted by Ellen Johnson Sally. We know. We the Labapo, we know.
Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello?
Hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
Thank you. My name is Sam Walker. I speak to you from the Ghana's Liberian. Thank you for the opportunity, government. Let me speak directly to Daniel Sando in studio and therefore the folks. Well, you see, in politics, you don't single out somebody, and in politics, and you don't describe somebody as the way he described Charlene Brumskine. Let's put this aside. This lady, her father was a drum bearer, and is the drum bearer of that institution. And how immense contribution as the Brumskine did for the country and also for the Liberty Party. So for Daniel Sano, who being let's say a surrogate to the senator, I think his adjectives to Charlie was somehow demeaning, and he needs to actually see reason to do another part, because this tentacle has got a cut. So he shouldn't have done that. I don't care how loyal he is.
Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Clarence came over calling from Ghana's.
Clarence, let's hear you.
Thank you. I get a previous caller say one of the caller is Akumi just continue to embarrass himself. Charlie, nobody knows Charlie. Only Louis said he started floating in the political arena. And number one there. Number two, how will you be going to another country to meet your running mate? To my belief, no need for them to transport people from Monrovia, but rather also go and see their strength in the country. Leave Monrovia people alone, go there, meet your running mate, let us see your strength in the country. But from this morning, 5 o'clock, even Musa Belete start announcing whosoever want to go there can give you coupon to go there. How will you know you're saying in the county?
Thank you.
No, Mr. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to this person. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you joining us from?
Oh, my name is James Sam J. Kenneth. I'm calling you from Police Academy.
Let's hear you.
Thank you so much, my brother. One of the things that I really would like for the former CEO to do is to tell the Liberian people the negative comments the councillor and said about Kumi. Some of these hypocrite guys will leave, the actual reality that on ground that Liberian people are suffering from. We want, to governance come together as opposition to battle the ruling party because of the suffering that they have brought on us. They will leave the UP and the collaborating party to join Kume because of money. How can you do that?
Thank you. Let's talk to this other person. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello? Hello?
Thank you. Let me present good evening to the panelists.
Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, my name is Hassan, and I joined in from District 2, right around the Peace Island community.
Let's hear you.
Let me say thank you to the panelists, and let me say thank you to the CPP, to Mr. Cummins for the selections of Madam Brumskine. But it is all written on the wall. This election is about former Vice President Baka and President George Weah. So, like one of the panelists said a few days ago, the election is not about wasting your vote. So I just want to use this opportunity to conscientize the voters all across the lands of our country to not go any other way but to go in the way of a former Vice President Baka. This is the only solution to our problems in this country.
Thank you. Let's talk to this other person. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, this is Liberian. I'm calling from the Pearland community.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, when I heard about Kumi and Charlene Brumskine today, it was so much laughable. I came from Buchanan just recent time. I saw Charlene on a billboard with a follow photo. She's trying to sell herself through a follow photo, and she's not known in Buchanan. Now, Kumi is taking her as a running mate. Are they going to use Brumskine photo in a back to sell Charlene all over Liberia? I mean, the Kumi is wasting your own time. Realize that you're wasting your own time.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
Thank you very much. My name is Mohammed El Kanajian. I've been to from District 15, specifically Baraswa Community Military School. I have a question with that originating from the ANC. Question is, seeing Kumi choosing the late Councillor Brumskine daughter as his running mate. Okay, if the other the ANC attempt to even be winning party in this country, if I know what if, okay, what legacy or what good she bring group us on the summer, because we know that the far Taylor, she had completed 10 her back on the disabled community more beside the group us on the summer, because the common vibe she should know that disabled the group us on the summer is directly under her supervision. So what legacy with Councillor Brown's daughter bring to that institution? That's my question to Dr. Reddy. I want for all the people calling for her, please.
Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, let's hear you.
Yeah. Yes, Anthony.
Anthony, let's hear you. Where you come from?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You need to lower the volume of the radio or walk away from the radio.
Hello.
Yeah. Let's hear you now.
I'm very
better.
happy that Charlene Brumskine was elected as running mate to Kumi. You see, the Liberian politics is running now is not awful because some people will be say, oh, the person not a rightful person. Who know the rightful person in Liberia? Because he joined ANC now. She not a rightful person. She is well known in Bassa. You see which Markun when in my country. Everybody knows Charlene Brumskine. So they shouldn't say that the woman she now qualify. She qualified more than any other person too. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you join us from?
I'm Josh Tepper. I call from Logan.
Josh, let's hear you, but you've got to be audible.
Yeah, this is a discussion. But you know the problem I understand. I know the understanding they can feel what it belongs to the Jomlikanga. How they can be taking the other party to be? They get to say the party belongs to Jomlikanga and Tano. And they say that Charlene Brumskine, they say that Charlene Brumskine got any criminal record, she got any corruption record. And it's not commission, you got any corruption record in the country? Yeah, yes, so my talking about the president, Nana, you get for the group of 72nd. For that, the 12 years, where is it for the group of 72nd? What is the legacy that doesn't stand with the other culture? They who support the Baga. What is Baga legacy for the group of 72nd? Then they tell us this is a Baga for the group of 72nd. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you join us
So
from?
let's make that the last. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember one time and the CEO to ask Musa Belete that you did all this thing here because Yombly that woman, and he got so mad, they almost fought to them. When I talked to, okay, remember?
Go ahead, make your point.
Now, these are the type of things we're talking about. They're taking advantage on Yombly because they just feel that, Yombly is a woman, they just got begging all around. So now they will see the result.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a few international calls. James, if you do, please put the number up. It's 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time, the United States, and that will be 11 Liberian time. James, let's take 5 international calls, please.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, welcome. Your name and where you calling from?
This is Albert and I call from Brussels.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I heard Conagry and other people talking about the issue of our dialect in Liberia. There is no way that we can put aside our dialect when it comes to politics in Liberia. Okay, please tell me, if Councillor Brumskine goes deep into Grand Bassa County, where you have some of those villages have no school, some of those people they only speak Bassa, if she's going to speak English or she's carrying an interpreter. And one thing is you understand our people, they have the mentality deep in the village. If somebody goes there who wants to become a vice president, go to speak English or somebody is interpreting, the first thing will say, our own daughter, what does she wants to prove? That she comes to speak English or when she wants for us to vote for them. So it is very important. You have to have conversation with the people in the dialect or the language that they understand, which is very important. So the thing people are saying that dialect or language should be ruled out.
Thank you.
I think it is very much unfortunate for the part of the ANC. And equally so, on SKTV, Musa Belete said that they have put about 4.
All right, thank you.
But why he couldn't finish?
Yeah, I think
he was saying something.
Yeah, according by mistake. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you calling from?
Isaac.
All right, Isaac, go ahead.
Thank God. I mean, I've been struggling to get on the line. Finally, I'm here. Well, I just want to say something very quick. As I was saying, the ANC folks always saying, Commissar clean him, but I want to let people know tonight it's not. The reason people say Commissar clean him because the system which Comey were working in, there's no way that Comey could steal. Just so you know, even Dr. Francine in the place there, the reason for which he not giving even our children homework or assignment, asking them for money is because the system that she working in.
But you want to tell me all the money that Comey spending if he become president tomorrow, how you think he will get your money back? So let us erase that notion of Comey as a criminal. No. The reason make Comey criminal because the system he was working in, the system could not allow him
All
to take anything. Thank you for the show.
All right, thank you. Hello from this angle. Yeah, we are great. Your name and where you joining us from?
I'm Thomas William calling from Minnesota.
Quickly make your point.
Mr. Waterspoon and Mr. Sando, I don't know when you guys will realize what is happening. Look, Mr. Comey is not in the race to win. Mr. Comey is in the race to participate. And his participation is to destroy Joseph Walker's chances of winning this election.
Oh, I told you man come to say something good. Why are you saying that?
And just we are that they're going to turn the country over to him in 2029. So all the ANC is doing now is just a conspiracy theory against Mr. Joseph Walker, Ambassador Walker, and Jeremiah Kuhn to destroy his chances of winning the election. But their plan will fail and early will turn to man. Because come 2023 October, Ambassador Joseph Yuma Bwaka will be the next president. I show Eddie will tell the man. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let me get this. Hello.
Hi, good day.
Your
My
name
name
is.
is Namwe. So I now call from New York.
Okay,
So,
go ahead.
it's interesting that someone
Fala,
like
hold on.
Jackson is off the show, but we come on the show and pretend as if he's one of those that is loyal to the late Brumskine. It was the very Jackson that told the Liberian people that Brumskine from North Carolina and that he's not a Liberian.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
It was the very Jackson that told the Liberian people that Brumskine, Charlene's father, comes from North Carolina. He said he's not a Liberian. So when did he realize that the Brumskine family are Liberians? People like Jackson that use loud mouth to get jobs should give the Liberian people the opportunity to transform their country. Instead of coming on radio where they say very loud mouth that made Madam Sedi first sorry for him, he gave me job, and come here and talk and say he likes Brumskine.
Okay.
He insulted Brumskine back and forth.
All
And
right.
you can't do the same thing to Staton. No, you can do that. You come on the show, be respectful, and follow the operations and the proceedings on the show. And don't come and be insulting everybody. When you insulted Brumskine, even when he was in his grave, has he apologized to Brumskine?
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hello.
Somebody yet? Okay, after that, let me bring you somebody real quick.
Joseph Alai.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on the line, James, and good evening to Staton and everybody. And there's something I'm going to correct with the whole Native Congo thing. Staton, all over the world, Jimmy, people go to election and they use two things to get vote. The first thing, vote is a struggle for favoritism all over the world. Look, even in America, that's what we see the Hispanic community, the Latino community, they all seeking endorsement, the Black community, they all seeking, people seeking endorsement of community in their leadership. The reason you have stakeholders in the community whose endorsement you see, Comey's point of view ambassador seeking the endorsement of stakeholders in the ambassador community, you know why? There's something called social identity. When people go to seek vote, you carry two things. You see social identity, you see economic motivation. The economic motivation is I can improve your lives, I can find solution to the bread butter issue. The social identity is I'm here, I'm into you and your brother. I grew up here in this neighborhood with you, and lately as a crown-free citizen, and your son, I share the story. The people are saying Charlene Brumskine does not share that story. She's not part of the social identity.
Hold on.
That's the point. I am a lawman with a Bishop Maningo. Why would I be ashamed to say that to somebody? Are you ashamed of your identity? Are you ashamed of your social identity? The fundamental part of why you cannot lead a society to prosperity is that you are not even taking pride in who you are.
Okay.
And that's the problem for the campaign.
Okay, thank you.
You want to take your last one?
All right, let me get this.
Then I'm going to go ahead and take this one, then we wrap up.
Yeah, go ahead. Your name and where you joining us from?
Yeah, my name is Thomas Crow. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Okay, Thomas, go ahead.
I just wanted to buttress the last caller. I think he made mention about something, about Comey. I know that Richardson, Remy Gray always mentioning that, about Cummings being clean, he never been involved into any kind of corruption. But Dr. Richardson, I tell you, if you yourself, the teaching you're doing in America, if you're in Liberia teaching, you're going to be collecting $5, $50, $50, $100 from students. I must admit, it's the society you work in, that's what makes you to be who you are. But from your physical, from me looking at you physically, Dr. Richardson, you are going to be receiving money from students in Liberia. Just to, to add up to that.
Like I said, for you just look at the woman you want to, how many people from there, man? Jim, how you be so?
Why you got him all Tim?
You look at the woman, you say you be from there. Papa, come on the show with your name and where you calling from. They got stuff for all kind of stuff.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. This is Bert Edouard calling for the state of Iowa to be vaccinated Cedar Rabbit. Let me question Liberians and ANC folks. Charlene is not a face of CPP. It's Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. He's a face of the CPP. But his message is not resonating with the Liberian people. Yes, Charlene is young, but what is the message? What did she bring on the table? And to conclude, Senator, Guillaume say, Ukwaka Medi. Me aki yaka dire or yaka grow be ma pa me ba grow de ba be yaka ye plan e gumbo etia. That is to say, if you're salt and you're pepper in somebody else's mouth, don't palm up that person. It hurts the person, and when the person's come out, it'll always be bad. Thank you this afternoon. Jassy have been doing this thing forever. He always badmouth his friends there. It is not good. It tickle people to say something that you don't want to say. But let it go. Let it be. Please don't measure it again. You are a leader. If you are raw, you are raw. If he is good, then he carry his goodness to himself. Raw will always be raw. But if you are raw, you support somebody and give food to that person, then you are the best raw. Thank you.
So let's wrap this thing up because I always want Councillor Lamin Pakor to drive home safely, and it's kind of late. Guys, we want to say thanks to everyone that contributed to the show. Councillor Lamin, you go first with your closing, sir.
I would like to just point out a few things. One, the Liberty Party that I was part of the original people that funded was not a Basel Party. People got to stop saying that thing. The Liberty Party is for the Basel people, and someone took it from the Basel people. I mean, no. It's a national party. When we created that party, nobody, Councillor Brumskine never told us that we're creating one party for Grand Basel County. I mean, I would certainly have disagreed with him if he had said that. So we have to stop it. So national party is for everybody. That one. Two, to assume that Liberian people are just inherently corrupt, that regardless of what the person is, if the person is working here, the person will be corrupt. I don't understand why people even have that thought. So it's not everybody that is corrupt in Liberia because the system is just inherently corrupt. Some of us work in this society. You will not find anybody that will tell you that we stole money from somewhere or we did corrupting. You won't find it. Why you think it's that way? I mean, there are people who have integrity and people who have principle. We have to stop that, argument that this person wasn't corrupt because they were working in a structured society. Yeah, I mean, working in an American society, there are people in America that are corrupt. The thing is that in their society, when they catch you, they will throw the book at you. The difference is here, we celebrate the criminals. And then we go around telling people, okay, you got money, or what have you done before? What have you done for your people? So we encourage the stealing. Then we won't be arguing that other people are not doing the right thing. I will close by saying that it was good that Stanton said we're going to take the debate into the policy realm. That would be the best thing we'll do for the people in this country. And so we can get away from all these pedestrian arguments that this person can speak the local language or this other person is not from this part of the country. Let's get away from all those things Let's tell the Liberian people who is the best person or which or political party presents the best opportunity to transform their lives. Thank you guys very much. Have a God bless night.
And listen, we'll see you on Monday. You know we're working. I think Dylan will be on Monday or Wednesday, Tuesday. I don't
Definitely
know.
I'll be available
So
on
I
Monday.
hope. Yeah, I know you will also now, but I hope Dylan is coming. You know, for the very long time he have not spoken, and everybody not get a VP come strong because they don't say that. I should announce he's going to go crazy like folks I was saying before because this is about saving Liberia. So, Councilor, please drive home safely, my brother, and we'll talk to you on Monday by God's grace. All right. So while we go through this thing, let's bring in Aaron Grades, Daniel Sando, and Dr. Richardson will take us home.
You know, I think eventually we will elevate the show, and I'm glad that we are beginning to discuss policy. Some of us, this is what we've known all throughout our engagement into public debate. And I see sometimes folks moving the pendulum to say you're wasting your vote. You know, on a civic education level, I think our people should begin to know that your vote is your conscience. It's not because you want to follow a group of people because you think this person is the most popular, this person is the most, it is their time now. There is no time but your time. Always remember that if it is not your time, when you vote somebody who the other people deemed as the most popular person in the race, you have just supported those other people's desires and wishes. And Liberians, when you vote somebody, you have to make them the voted individual in that election. And to come back and say, oh, it's not this person, he's wasting his time. Always remember, 6 years is never taken back. Remember when one of the most popular people in our race was George Weah. Now go back and search your conscience. If you were one of those who decided to vote for him, simply because that was his time now, that was the most popular thing to do based on others, do you have some regrets? Search in your own conscience. In this country, when we vote, we don't care for whether this person is going to win. Look, some people vote the Green Party. The Green Party is just concerned about the vegetation and the natural habitat, or they're concerned about climate change and all of these kinds of stuff. You understand? But Liberia, yes, we're growing. We're still evolving as a political epoch. For people to begin to say it's this person's time, whether or not that person will deliver you, that is the kind of politics I would hate to move away from. And let me say this: Daniel Sando, Lami Kpago, these are not strange people. These are all people we've interacted in the past. We have friends. We came up. For even Daniel Sando to see me as a stranger of Liberia, I mean, I wonder. I mean, politics can do strange things, but this is not one thing I would expect my brother Daniel Sando to even imagine that I'm a stranger in Liberian politics. You know definitely that I have been there in the vanguard. I've been in the trenches. When we say real trenches, people who moved our democracy for what it is now, that we can be counted as some of the individuals. We were the ones that make the messages to go in the where they matter most. People are inherited a country where everybody can vote now, so it's not because you're younger or you don't know me does not mean that I don't belong in our Liberian politics. And I'm saying this because we have a very young woman, and Mr. Sandoya said people had to go around telling people Yembly was coming to speak to us. We've had this thing before. We've had these things. Look, let me tell you something. I think with the advent of Miss Brumskine or Councillor Brumskine, there is some level of soberness that has come towards the CPP. This is why people are so jittery. They're shaking now because you know what? We're used to seeing older phases in politics, when we see someone who is so youthful, charming, appealing, we consider it disrespectful because our psychic was not trained to be that way for the last 40 or 50 years. We've seen people who probably should have left politics 20, 40 years ago are still in it. So because that's the kind of country we want. But you know what? I think we're moving away from that gradually. And I'm glad to see youthful. And Charlene will only be known when she's placed on a major ballot like this. Those individuals who are calling, they know her now. Probably they didn't know her before. That's how people get known. You have to take a bold step to put yourself in harm's way for incoming traffic to see you and say, oh, Charlene is that, you are seeing her now. And you know what? You're going to be seeing her every day and going to be hearing her voice. And that will create some retentiveness in you to say, I didn't know that there was a Charlene. You know now. So to even come here and even make the case that she's not known, and when you know her, then I feel for you because you know what? It's like you're not living in reality. Charlene is part of a major political party, and she's going to be that way for a long time in the minds of those who are saying they don't know her now. After this election, whether or not she wins or whether or not a ticket wins, definitely Charlene will become a part of the national discussion. That's how people get known. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Everman. I appreciate it. Let's just hang around while we all close together. Daniel Sando.
So I suppose you concluded in reference to me. So I will start from where you stopped. Your first assertion that we take the election to be personal. We say somebody time to win, or what have you. But apparently, again, forgive my choice of words. This is not being personal against you. Apparently, you don't know what is at stake. The election for us, the survival of our country, our democracy is at stake here. This election is not like any other election, but just going to the ballot box to vote. We have to make sure that is denied a second term. That is why I have consistently indicated on this platform that Mr. Cummings is a good man. He's a good man. But can he win the election? And the answer is a resounding no. So I have consistently called on Liberians to say a vote for Cummings in the first round is a vote for George Weah indirectly. Don't waste your time. They gave it over Joseph Boakai. He's a man of the moment. And this is my opinion. And there are thousands of Liberians who agree with me. There are thousands of Liberians. You listen to the callers. It is as if these callers and Mr. Cummings are existing on two different planets. Did we program the callers? We sat there, we have an hour-long conversation. You open the lines. Those who call are Liberians. They are voters. What do they think of the election? So yes, we have to call on Liberian. We have to send out a clarion call to say, don't waste your vote. It doesn't mean we don't respect the other people in the election. But I do believe Mr. Weah is an incumbent. You don't underestimate the capacity of the incumbent on our side of the world. In Africa, they can do anything to manipulate the electoral process. So the way to get Mr. Weah out is to defeat him on the first ballot. And that call is intended to have Liberians vote for Ambassador Boakai in their majority in the first round of the election. If that happens, it renders Mr. Weah incapacitated to do anything in the second round of the election. So we respect Mr. Cummings. We don't hate him. But we just know for a fact that he cannot win this election. That's what we are saying. The next thing here is nobody is going personal as Charlene. You don't know Charlene as compared to me. I worked for Charlene's father in 2 successive elections, and she knows the role I play. In 2017, Charlene personally walked to me and said for my father to speak of a young man so highly. There's something about you, and I want us to be friends. We are not enemies. We are partisans. I'm only regretting that she's allowed herself to be used by people who are fighting the political leader of the party. Musa Berete doesn't love her. Why couldn't Musa Berete give up his representative bid in Nima to be running middle commies? But he was able to convince Charlie to give it up and be running middle commies. If Musa is so sure that commies can win the election, why couldn't he give up his bid in Nima, discredit Masevi, to go as running middle commies? He knows Mr. Commies cannot win, but he rather use Charlene to fight Senator Lawrence in Basso. And I'm saying that she's injuring a very big family. She's injuring a very, very big family. She's competent. She's a lawyer. And for the savvy, she runs a law firm. I'm not against her. I'm just saying that they use her to go to Ambassador Bwaka and say, if you name Nyombli, we're not going to support you. Boom. Bwaka doesn't name Nyombli. She's with Cummings. The next day, Cummings names her as a running mate. She's too young for that. Okay, so it's not a personal. We encourage her. That's why from the beginning I said it is her right. It is her right to participate. And she made a political choice. She's of age. We wish her well. But when I'm asked, what do I make of the ticket? What does she bring to the table politically? You may not like my choice of words, but if I've had the opportunity to repeat the things I said, I will say it. That politically, she's irrelevant. And that's why she should have allowed herself to be groomed by people with whom Councillor Brumskine, her father, entrusted the party. If my sister Charlene want to be lawmaker in Bassa, she want to be president of Liberia, we should be the one leading that call. It shouldn't be Musa Berete. It shouldn't be Mr. Cummings. He doesn't know Mr. Cummings from anywhere. So they are destroying her. She's a very bright person. How will she face the embarrassment of going back to United with the very family that she's injuring right now? In Liberty Party, we are a big family. Councillor Brumskine was not a flawless character. We worked for him. There were times he offended people in the party. But people didn't disrespect Councillor Brumskine the way Charlene has done to Senator Lawrence. There were people who stood by Councillor Brumskine. Even when he was wrong, we defended him. One of such persons is Jacob Smith. When the Asa Jackson did not use him to go about insulting Senator Lawrence, when he waged a verbal assault against Councillor Brumskine in this country, to the extent that people named him Deputy Minister for Brumskine Affairs. We were the one repelling the attack against Brumskine character. Today, Charlene Brumskine sits on the platform with Asa Jackson, and you say you reconcile with Asa Jackson. Is that how you reconcile? Against the wishes and desire of the people who laid down their life for your father? So these are the issues. And these are the issues that are going to affect Cummings by extension in the election. So it is not personal. It is not personal. Like I said, I know her personally. If I want to be personal, I can say some things here. But it's not my style of politics. We have to grow the conversation. We have to elevate the conversation. If you're calling for elevating the conversation, you do not elevate the conversation on lies. By saying that the Reverend Dr. Abakanga was at the program today. The program was televised live on Sarah's online platform. They didn't see Abakanga there. But you sat here and tried to mislead our audience intentionally, which is not good. So, CEO, thank you for this opportunity. We look forward again to being here next week to continue what we have started. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Just don't leave yet because we got to hear from Dr. Richardson and I got to close, have the last word, please. Dr. Richardson, please. You are muted, Dr.
I want to tell the people of Bassa, thank you very much for a very successful program. It was entertaining. You showed solidarity to Charlene and to Mr. Cummings. I give God the glory for such a successful program, and I also pray for those who have not made it home yet, whether they're going in Buchanan or they're going out of Bassa to have a safe trip home. I want to tell Chairman Billy, thank you so much for organizing the program along with your team. Mr. Cummings, thank you very much. And tell Charlene, thank you very much for accepting to be the running mate to Mr. Cummings. You present yourself as a selfless person, unlike many people who have just been in government for so long. They come from one party to another, or one person in power to another. They work all their life in government, and so they will come to you, Liberian people, to try to put us against each other. But we know them. Charlene, you presented yourself as someone who don't need title or position or to be in government. You are a very, very independent woman. You can make your decisions, as I've seen, by yourself, compared to a sexist man who would say that you are allowing yourself to be used. Only sexism, the idea of sexism that is marinating in somebody's head, will be able to present the thought that a woman like you, with the stature, with your life experience, can make the decision to serve as a running mate to someone, or to serve as someone in a position of power. I want to thank you for the time that you showed me when I was in Liberia recently. You kind of came to the crowd. You showed your humility. You are very humble. You didn't present yourself as someone who wanted to control people for the sake of money or bribe people. You presented yourself as someone who wants a better Liberia. Liberians, I hope you're listening very carefully. October 10th is a big day for all of us. It's the day that we'll have to make some hard decisions about transferring our government from what it is now, transferring your suffering from what it is now, transferring the times that you haven't gotten paid from what it is now, to at least the path of the government working for the people instead of for a certain group of people. I ask you that you give Mr. Cummings and Councillor Brumskine a chance to govern Liberia. That will be the biggest decision that you ever made in terms of putting our country on the right path. So I thank you, Stanton, for having a great show. It was an interesting show, really. But again, here we are. So thank you.
Dr. Richardson, thank you very much. And folks, I want to say thanks for everything you continue to do for the network. I want to say thanks to Amy Reiter. I never met this lady, but she a constant follower. Charlene LRB McNair, and all of our faithful followers. We want to say thank you. I like to leave you with this. I usually don't do this, and people just tend to hold back. I agree. I mean, I just never, don't want to say I didn't listen to you, but sometimes man got to talk all. Sometimes man got to talk all because it's the right thing to do. And I had back for so long. I'm going to say this. I don't know whether James put this up. Let me see. Oh, James, did you put it up? I sent you the information. Good day. No, not that. The text message, James. Did you put it up? The reason why I'm saying this thing, I just want to say this. If, let's just be truthful to ourselves, Liberians. Let's be truthful to ourselves. Again, just to close on this with my friend, my brother, Asad Jackson, sometimes just being quiet is good. We made a lot of mistakes in life. Just be quiet sometimes. And then the mate, this was Asad Jackson. When he reached out to me again, James, I sent it to you. I hope you can put it up. When he reached out to me again, because I would not just leave this, I beg you, my dear brother, not that, James. I sent it to you, but only God knows what you're doing with them. When you reach out to me, he said, hello, my dear brother. I have been trying to reach you again. And, I knew it was him. Then he said, this is Asad Jackson. I wish to appear on Spoon to share my view on Yomdi Kanga Lawrence suspension of Daniel Sando for speaking against corruption. Okay. And he moved on to say that this is my number 447-448-587912. This is the interesting thing. When Asad Jackson said on the show and saying he would go to Liberia to defend Musa Belete and Alexander Cummings, the messages I have for this Asad Jackson, what he have said about Mr. Cummings and Belete, you got to come to a term to agree. that to err is human and to forgive is divine. We are not yet to separate. We are not yet to bring these things up. Also, I am concerned about the CPP aloof posture on corruption. I think it is against public morality for Mr. Cummings to be seen with Musa Bedete, a FIFA condemned fraudster. I'm shocked that the man who wants to be president of Liberia is on trouble by Musa Bedete moral turpitude. Liberia is in a dreadful trouble. You know, I get so many of these messages from this brother. I must I be the one to carry it on and the legs of them to read the messages against George Manawia, against Cummings? Why should I do that? You don't come and sit on the people's platform, the people network, the people show that they listen to in Liberia and think that you are just the one that was the only loudmouth in the room. You cannot do that. What you say about Mr. Cummings, if I begin to display these messages, and today you went to Liberia, they rejected you because they knew you, that you were just a so-called loudmouth. What you said about Musa Bedete, come on, guys. Be truthful to yourself. Whether you have it or you don't have it, be truthful to yourself. Above all else, speak truth to power. And let the Liberian people believe in you. You cannot condemn Mr. Cummings today, and when it's all said and done, you have a little gravy, you celebrate him, you praise him. Condemn Musa Bedete today, and when you go to Liberia, they gave you that transportation, you come back and you praise them. What kind of Liberia are we looking for? What kind of Liberia are we seeking? For better or for worse, in sickness or in health, till death do us part, I will stand with the Liberian people. You're not saying that. You are like most of them. That when they give you the $1,000, they're your friend. When they hold back the 500, you get mad. Let's try to change that, bro, for the better. Even if we are not perfect, as imperfect we are, let's try to do the right thing. As we strive towards perfection, let's look back on our country, that we do the right thing for our children. I have two 22 years old and 21 year old, graduated from college, bachelor in biology. I'm grateful to God. Going into men's school, I'm happy. Let's set a better Liberia for our family. Let's set a better Liberia for our nieces, our nephew, our loved ones and friends. Like, be in somebody's life that tomorrow when we are not yet, their life can be a testimony to say, yes, it was because of this person I am today. Let's be grateful to God. You don't beg me. Then when I just tell you this is what I say, but you get mad and you went ballistic on me, I forgive you, Brother Isaac. I mean, I have the terminologies like you. I do not play with the dictionary all the time. I do not seek words, no. My subject and verb agreement may not connect, but the Liberian people hear me. So you need to stop. What I have from you, it will make CDC, CPP, and everybody in Liberia run from you, brother. Don't do it. Don't do it, brother. This is election. Stand your ground. Be bold. Whether you have it or not, stand your ground. Let the Liberian people believe in you. When it comes to Charlene Brumskine and Mr. Cummings, I applauded the ticket. It is why it is now. We move on, right? The case going to be made if they can deliver Liberia. Jeremiah Kuhn, Joseph Yimabwaka, the case will be made. George Manawia and Madam Joa Howard Taylor, the case will be made. Now the war begins. And let the Liberian people decide. This is the People Network. You are all welcome. But speak truth. Be fair. And let the Liberian people decide. Till we meet again on Monday. And I know God will guide our life to meet on Monday. We welcome the Daniel Sando, the L. Remin Gray, the Dr. Richardson, the Fadika. I don't know which one of the brothers always appearing. And you know, we will welcome the Fagon and all of them, Woozy, every one of them. The Salamatu, the Leo. I heard they say Musa say, hey, people shouldn't come. Trust me, man. Musa get there, he will calm down. This is what Musa and myself do all the time. Don't listen to Musa. Musa say he calls you, see, oh, you get there. No, I get tasty. I can never get vexed. I'll pick up the phone and call Musa, he will answer. This thing is up and down, but Musa and myself, that's how it is. There's no tell me say Musa get vexed, go after Musa. No. Let's go after the policy. Let's see what Cummings can do to help Liberians. Let's see what Joseph Walker have never done and what he would do to help Liberians. Let's go as far as if George Manewea can recreate something new to help Liberia. Let's talk about the Liberian people needs and wants. Let's talk about what would take them to the next 6 years. That's what we need to talk about. May God bless you guys. May God keep you. Thank you very much, James. And God bless you all. Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
You guys see? You guys see? All right, folks. We hope to be back tomorrow. Until we meet, have yourself a great time. My name is James Goode from Baba.